We are live. So, hello everybody. We are going to play some
Couple
stuff.
of quick promos.
Well,
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
The Church of Mavis radio show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
okay, you can play it right after mine, okay?
Okay.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
All right, let it rip. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saturday Night to Chat. What do you think of that song, Jay?
Well, hang on. It's auto playing the next one, which is also maybe we'll have that one for the next one. That's a little preview. That was pretty good. Dave Russell, one of the guys I work with, he wrote our theme song to News on the Flip Side,
Uh-huh.
and that sounds like the kind of music that would have inspired him to write the theme song that we have for News on the Flip Side. It's almost in that same pentameter or whatever you call it, in that same rhythm.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to this. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you, sir. Yeah, it is an awesome tune, man. Can you imagine dating that drummer? Well, the lead singer is her husband, buddy. Sorry, you're out of
Yeah.
luck on that one.
I kind of
I
figured
think
there was something going on there.
I think everybody, every guy in the world, even some women would love to date her. But, I really enjoyed that group. And when I hear that song, I've been listening to that song forever, over 2, 3 years now. And whenever I'm feeling down or whenever life is not good for me, I put that song on and it just like gets my blood rolling. And that's how I feel about the guys here, you, Joe Montaldo, and Michael. Um, how I feel about the chat and then news on the flip side, because I really believe that we are invincible, dude. You know what I mean? Um, because we call it as it is. People can't shut us up. And how we feel about what's happening in America and in the world. I mean, I knows that I feel strong when we chat about different things. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's the reason why I brought that song up.
That's cool. It's a good song, but yeah, I have to agree with you. What's going on? I mean that. Wow, so many things are just happening just today. I think that if I can recap it real fast, the headlines I saw were Trump orders attacks on the Houthis and makes a statement to the effect of "Your time is up." Let's see what else was there. There's one. A whole bunch of just quick headlines about him. I can't remember what the next one is, but all of them sound like we're heading towards World War III again.
You really think so?
It's going up and down. I'll bet you that the guy who's running that clock is having a hard time keeping up. One of the other announcements today was the pager and walkie-talkie attack. One of the Israeli generals is saying that they had those attacks in place right after, like during after the December 7th attack. He said on December 11th we could have activated the walkie-talkies and destroyed most of Hezbollah right then and there, but they didn't let us do it.
Well,
Yeah.
well, who didn't? Who didn't? Was that Netanyahu, whatever his name is? Netanyahu.
Joseph China Joe Biden is the gentleman who ended
Oh,
up
okay.
doing that.
So Biden knew all about the pagers, huh?
He certainly knew about the walkie-talkies because they said they had the walkie-talkies in place first. But they when they transferred over to the pagers, they'd only only so many, like 90 or 100 walkie-talkies were part of the upper echelon. Everything else is going to be pagers from that point on. So they had to keep the attack the way it was, otherwise they would have missed everybody anyway.
Okay. So okay, say like World War III starts off, right? World War III goes.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think the sides are? Who's it going to be with? Tell us what. Tell everybody out there in Radio Land what you think would happen
Oh.
when World War III would break out.
Well, I think it's definitely going to be somewhere in Europe or Middle East, is where the aggressions are going to begin. It's probably going to wind up being China will be forced to either align itself with us or Russia. They'll probably choose Russia. And it'll be China, Russia, Iran, Iraq, probably most of the Islamic states, and that nonsense against most of Europe and us.
Is that because we're with NATO still? Is that the reason?
A and B, we're also highly aligned with Israel. So if Iran were to send an all-out attack, or even just a tactical nuke at Israel, I think that would be more than cause enough for NATO and U.S. to call World War III on them.
And Trump's the only one that could. No, that takes an act of Congress now, doesn't it?
Well, I guess it depends on if you look
at
it
from weirdos talking about.
From the standpoint of if Iran attacks Israel, do we automatically attack because A, they're a member of NATO, and B, they're also one of our number one allies.
Well, this is where it gets sticky. Technically, the president can declare war for 90 days without Congress. But after that 90 days, it has to be ratified by Congress.
Yeah.
And generally, and let me clarify for the people out there, generally that's not allowed unless we are attacked first. Because usually if it's another country being attacked, we got to go through Congress to get it right.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a NATO, attack upon one is attack upon all kind of situation, we would automatically, Congress wouldn't have to be involved.
Yeah. But we still can only declare war for 90 days without Congress. Eventually they have to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
It's which only makes sense. I mean, it's Congress.
Right.
It's we need to know that they're. What the hell kind of misspelling is that, Joe? It's let me fix that while I'm here. But it only makes sense that Congress should be involved. I mean, I don't know if it's a 2/3 majority or whatever it is.
Yeah, it would be a 2/3 majority, 100%. Yeah, and I think probably most of them would vote to get for the safety of all to prevent more death. But
the way I look at that, so you got Iran launches on Israel, and the EU or Russia launches on. That's the one that confuses me the most. If Trump and Putin are talking, all right. Okay, here's a good one, Joe.
The other, let me real quick. You just reminded me of the other headline in Europe. Was that England has sworn to provide military aid to Ukraine. So that's the other factor I think that might be a mitigating starting factor for World War III.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So say like that happens. Joe, question for you. So what happens if the EU or NATO launches an attack on Russia? How do we get involved with that?
If it's the
What
EU,
you
we don't
mean?
get involved at all.
Okay, so if even if NATO attacks Russia, we don't have to be involved. We can say no. So, in other words, I'm not even sure NATO can attack anything without the
No.
United States ratifying it. So, if you attack them without us ratifying it, we're going to sit out. We're going to say, sorry, you didn't ask us first. We're not getting into this. You're on your own.
Yeah, and if the EU attacks, we're not part of the European Union, so let them do what they want.
See,
But
this is the problem. Now, if it's the other way around, if they attack the EU right now is considered a protectorate, so
Yeah.
we would have to attack. Or anybody who attacked any NATO
the Union
country, we
itself,
would
but
have
the
to
states
attack.
of it, the countries that make up the European Union are still friends of NATO, and well, I hope they're dues-paying members as well.
Well, no, so this is what's funny about this is, and this is where Americans get confused. First off, the United States has protection pacts with a lot of countries. We're not even talking about the EU, and then it has a protection pact with the EU itself. And of course, our agreements with places like Britain and France are huge. So I don't know. Unless somebody attacks them directly, we're probably not going to attack them. We'll probably sit back. I don't know if you can tell the American public right now on a real war. And without us, it's not really a real war, is it? It's a wannabe war.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I would think.
It's gonna be. It's probably gonna be another one of those situations, just like the way World War II started. It isn't and shouldn't be any of our business, but then eventually somebody in that war made it part of our business.
Well, yeah, if you attack us, of course we're going to make it our business.
Oh
But
yeah,
but here's what scares me. Hi, Heidi.
Hey, Heidi.
Heidi.
Heidi ho, watch me go.
Here's what, like, I just lost it from listening to Joe's voice thing.
Heidi ho.
But no, what really bothers me, let's just say, scenario, that dude from Britain don't like the Americans right now, and Macron don't like them like us. What happens if they definitely fire the first shot, trying to entice us to go into the war to really mess up our military?
So now, if this was Joe Biden, I'd say, okay, look, but this is Donald Trump. She's going to be like, fuck you. You shouldn't have fired anything without talking to us first. And that's what he's going to say. He's going to, you're on your own. We don't care what you think. We're not getting involved in this. You shouldn't have fired that without talking to us first. And if you can't understand that, we'll screw you, buddy, because we're not going to get involved with this.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it seems like, on the surface at least, Trump has a tentative 30-day agreement between Zelensky and Putin. What if England, not European Union, just England? What if England screws the pooch and moves troops in and causes a ruckus and
so if I remember our treaties correctly with Britain, they can't put themselves in a position that would put us in a position. We have some kind of weird treaty with them. Not like normal treaties we have with it. If you listen to their prime minister speak today, he was telling you the truth.
Just announced that this afternoon.
Yeah, but if you listen to him talk about what he was saying the other night, you can't separate the two countries. Our military, our intelligence, our finances, everything between these two countries are intertwined now. There is no just ripping it apart without causing catastrophe on both sides. You just can't do it. It's not like we're talking about France or Canada or Mexico. This is much different. This is an alliance that's been going on pretty much since they lost the war.
Yep.
And
lost the second war probably.
Well, no, because we helped them out in the first war. It's just we weren't the most, and people forget back in the early days, we weren't the threat. We weren't the big bad country. We were a little country trying to become a country.
No,
we were just lucky everybody decided to leave us to blank alone, or we
Well,
may not be here today.
I think
Maybe.
more of the fact that it took 8 months to get here by sailboat is part of the reason why we weren't really messed with so much.
Yeah, but they got here because we know during the Civil War there were lots of ships on both sides here.
Uh-huh.
So we know all of that went on. It's so we know they could get here if they wanted to get here. It's just that's not what was really going on. What was really going on was we wanted to see how far we could push the United States. And I don't know, what we even call back then. What were we the United? Yeah, we were the United States, I guess. But Britain pushed us. France and I think Italy were on the Confederate side during the war.
No,
they
it
were
was
talking.
England. England
And,
was on the Confederate side. That
Yeah, well, there was two of them that were on the Confederate side. I guess it was England and France, but they were definitely because the let me see if I remember right. Which one was that? Oh, I remember that we were using Canadian scouts. Well, they weren't even Canadian scouts back then. I don't know what the hell you call them back then.
And I'm pretty sure the French were with the North because most of DC was designed by a French lord. L'Enfant.
Yeah, but when DC started, it belonged to the South.
Oh well, maybe, but I'm
sure. People don't realize that with the exception of Maryland, every state around DC is a southern state.
So Maryland is a southern state too.
They go back and forth on that. I'm with you. I can go with Maryland being a southern state.
Well, the old line state is Maryland, and the straightest line of any border the states have is between Maryland and Pennsylvania, and that border decrees the free states to the north, Pennsylvania on up, from the slave states from Maryland on down.
Okay, now I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in there. Do you know Maryland had troops for the north and the south?
Well, to be quite honest with you, Sean, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, and every southern state was split 50-50. Half of them fought for the north and half of them fought for the south. The war truly split the country in half.
I did. I never heard that one before.
Yeah, my mom was doing some research, and that's what she found out. For the entire East Coast, every state, whether you were a northern state or a southern state, 50-50 all the way across the board. Half of the northern states fought south, half of the northern states fought north, and the same thing for the southern guys. It was. That's why they say it was the war of brother versus brother. It split families right down the middle. It split, family ties and friendships right down the middle. Hatfields and McCoys are an example of a feud that started after the war. After the Civil War was, culminated, then the Hatfields and McCoys continued on and.
Hush.
Sorry,
guys.
Not you, Jay. Not you, Jay. Heard.
No, yes.
No,
my insane dogs were.
But here's another little piece of tidbit I learned when I would do the tours with guides up there at Gettysburg. California wanted to be part of the Civil War, but they didn't have, the means to get their people over there. So California paid Pennsylvania, and they had a brigade. I think it was a brigade or a big thing where the guys from Pennsylvania actually carried the California flag.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But I don't know.
California was cool though.
I mean, why I really brought that up was because I was thinking about that today at work. It's like if France and England decides to go off on Russia, then we're screwed.
Well, France and England can't go off on Russia because France and England don't have what it takes to beat Russia. See, people are making a big mistake here. So if you looked at the United States and Vietnam
into Ukraine, and that could
but none of that matters because there's only one thing that matters here. Russia has 5,000 fucking nukes, and Britain has none. Well, they got 80 or 100 or something. Between France and Britain, I think they have 800. And they're not even big high yield nukes. They're crappy nukes. So what are you going to do? Start a nuke? Russia will 2,500 nukes will rain hell. There won't even be no Europe left. That's a bad move on their part. It's a war they can't win. You can't beat Russia, and people aren't taking into consideration during World War II. I mean, during Vietnam, everybody thought America was weak because of Vietnam. They forgot we'd just come off of World War II and the Korean War, just doing nothing but ass kicking. But we're just weak. And then of course here comes Desert Storm, and they find out no, we're not. So let's not make the same mistake with Russia. Just because they're using crappy equipment and not putting their top line soldiers out there or their top line jets does not mean they're weak. It just means this is what they're doing. They're cleaning inventory, basically.
This could just be an inventory call. I mean,
what,
as bad as it sounds, getting rid of their old equipment just for funsies.
They're getting rid of the stuff that they don't no longer need anymore, or that is too far out of date to be useful. They're just getting rid of it. And
what is the average age of the soldier that they're sending? In the 30s?
Yeah, pretty much. And this is Ukraine too. So, I mean, they're just looking. Just put it this way, guys. They're just cleaning house. I mean, if they could stop this war at any time, and look, they're now winning. Okay, they've buttoned up a little bit, brought in some serious more troops, brought in 10,000 troops from North Korea, and they're winning this war.
But it's just mind-boggling. But you know, we can blame France for Vietnam because we went in there, they went in there, got their asses kicked, and that's how America got into Vietnam, because the French pulled out.
Well,
yeah, we had no business being in Vietnam.
The defenses of that area had been in place for centuries already. The Russians had tried to take over the area near Vietnam, English, everybody in Europe. They're like, especially during the colonization era, and especially right after they discovered, China and Japan. The Far East was, the big thing. People wanted to buy it. They wanted the silks and the satins and the textiles and what have you. So they went wild for it. But the fact is that I lost my track of thought, but.
Yeah. I do that all the time. Welcome to old age, Jay.
Yeah, God, it sucks being a senior. But I think you guys know where I was going with that.
Right.
It's what happens when you're old. That's where you were going with that. Well, we can't help that you're old, man. We didn't make you old.
I'm old.
I did that.
I admit it.
God created oldness.
Oh, and one more thing I want to bring up, and then I'll shut up. So 3 or 4 days ago, we had a real bad rainstorm, and my truck and all other cars and trucks got covered with this brown dust. All right. So 3 days ago, I got my truck washed, and it was all nice and clean. Well, this morning it rained, and would you believe that dust is back again?
Wow.
It's all over my truck.
Probably from China.
Well, whatever. I can't believe it's from. I think they got something going on in the water up there, because that dust storm.
It could be aggro involved. I saw the big farm right down the street from me as I was going up to my painting class this morning. He was seeding with he had this spray. It was like a wet brown spray, and it had like a fog behind him. I'm sure it's all over my car, but he was seeding his fields for the upcoming spring to grow whatever he's going to grow. So that may be what it is in the air.
But but the way the wind blows, Jay, how could that have hit Pittsburgh?
Well,
after it rained, it.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, so look, let me help you out with this. So, and it's been a while now since this is going on, but they had the red dust that was all over the country from north to south. This was just from a desert in China. This is all this was. So the jet stream picked it up, swept it across the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and from California to Florida, it dumped this red fine dust on everything. So we share. So you can actually dust on your truck can be coming from anywhere overseas, but it can also be coming from Montana. It can be coming from any of the heartland states, any place they do any tip place. That's what the Dust Bowl was about back in the day, because we weren't smart enough to understand how to do agriculture back then. We do now, but still, you could be getting dust from this. So the only thing you can really do when it comes to that stuff is to have it tested, because it could also be other nefarious shit. So where I live, I noticed just before I changed my metal roof to a shingle roof, I had noticed that some of the metal roofs were changing colors on certain sides. And so what was happening is a chemical plant about 8 or 9 miles north of where I live, right at the top of the bay. And we rarely ever smell anything here, but it does woof around in other places in the general area. Now, these are pretty wealthy neighborhoods around here. So the fact that they even let this shit go on is beyond me. But we started noticing the difference in these colors. So people started having tested and found that it was coming from the chemical plant. It was discharges from them that was settling on their roofs. And whatever this shit wasn't coming off with a pressure washer. It was staying there.
Wow.
Now, it didn't eat through the roof or nothing. So, it wasn't too hostile, but it wasn't coming off with a pressure washer. And they had to get up there with some kind of special liquid and spray on there in a scrubber. So it's a strange thing the way this all goes, but it also takes us back to who can start World War III. So right now, there's only one person that can start World War III, and that's Putin. And that's if he nukes Kiev. If he nukes Kiev, World War III is on. Maybe. If the United States might not go for it. They might say too bad.
Well, maybe if he nukes like Paris or London, England, it will be on.
He's not going to nuke something like Paris or that, because he knows that's on. You got to think about it. Nuking London is a guarantee you just started World War III.
But he has threatened to hit London, so I mean,
he has. But most of that's bullshit, because he knows he's going to die the day he does it. The EU and Britain will respond immediately. If there's any American subs anywhere in the area, they will respond immediately. They will sink any Russian ships they see. They will just wipe out the Black Sea port altogether. Ukraine won't even have to worry about it anymore, because it'll be theirs again. And we will, and whatever nukes we have free, we will dump on top of the Russians. They may not even get a shot at a second wave of nukes, unless they got something in space we don't know about.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to call, because Britain don't want to start World War III, but Britain thinks that the only way to guarantee Kiev is to put boots on the ground. I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, Britain is as bad. Britain is as bad as the United States putting boots on the ground. Now, if it was Poland or Hungary or some kind of country like that, they could probably get away with it. But Britain, United States, England, those are powerful nations that if they're putting boots on the ground, they may be planning on invading your country. I mean, Zelensky's almost lost all of the land he's taken in Russia. It's all but a little circle now. It's Russia's taking everything back fast, and they're adding land. So, if you're going to get in there and stop them, that means the only way you can stop them is to confront them. And the first time somebody shoots a British soldier, it's a war. And it's not this half-ass war, because the British actually have real soldiers and real stuff. But the Brits don't have all that many more people than the Ukraine does.
Yeah, they're very, landlocked country, and they're not very big. They used to, way back when.
When they owned everything, yeah. I mean, maybe India will come fight for them. That's 1 billion people. But if India gets involved, China's going to get involved.
Heidi.
It's so. I mean, how do you? It's almost like you can't walk your way out of this. So the only way to end this is not to use nuclear weapons. And now the U.S. is building a nuclear shield around the country. It'll probably be finished before Donald leaves, and we'll probably be safe from nuclear weapons. And I know the Brits and the French and them are following suit, and the EU might follow suit. And if that's the truth, it'll be, nuclear weapons won't be as important as they used to be. But right now, they are.
I think we've been immune to nuclear attacks from anywhere on the planet for a long time, since around Reagan's time, actually. So I have never been worried about that. But I am worried about the little crazy man with a suitcase, dirty nuclear bomb that walks into a football stadium and boom, completely destroys the city, and that sparks World War III.
I got to thinking about suitcase nukes just recently. How many do you think are actually still active?
I don't
I
know,
have no
Michael.
idea, but
Hi,
the
Michael.
idea of that seems a little more feasible than a smart military tactician like Putin, like just launching tactical nukes all willy nilly. I don't think he's that stupid.
Well, you don't have to launch them all willy nilly. A tactical nuke on Kiev is not launching them all willy nilly. That's a tactical nuke on Kiev. 2-ton,
Well,
2-megaton
I
nuke.
think he's gonna
Boom,
do
no
that.
more
He's
Kiev.
gonna hit more than Kiev. I think he's going to hit Kiev, Odessa, and the three
He
big cities.
didn't know because you're not thinking of it the way he's thinking of it. He wants the territory. If you nuke it, you can't take it. It's no longer useful to you. Kiev has no other than it's a capital. It has nothing good about it. All the rest of these cities are
It is a
all
port city.
they got the Black Sea. They don't need Kiev, and that's the only one they were really ever interested in was the Black Sea port. That's where
That's
all the ships
Crimea,
are.
right? That's Crimea.
Yeah, that's Crimea. Yeah, that's that. So they don't look at it like that. They look at Kiev as the capital. It's the most demoralizing city if you kill a bunch of people in it, and if you take down the capital, most people are just going to say fuck it and surrender. But if you go around blowing up everything else, then you risk sympathy from all the rest of the nations. If he just goes in and says, "Look, I'm tired of this. We've tried peace, nothing works. We nuked Kiev. The war's over with now. It's our territory. Deal with it."
Oh yeah,
Nobody's going
So
to
what
start a
Trump's
war.
response?
Kiev
What
isn't
would-
anywhere near the Black Sea. It's way up near Belarus.
That's
So-
what I'm
What
saying.
would
Yeah,
Trump's
It's-
response be if that did happen? I mean, think about that.
he would say, "Okay, well, as long as they didn't kill any Americans, too fucking bad. I told y'all I'd make peace." I can hear him now. You should have made peace, man. You should have made peace. Why didn't you make peace, man? Why didn't you do peace, man? He's going to look at it differently.
How's that going to bode for the rest of the world not to condemn the use of nuclear weapons?
Well, they're going to condemn him, and they're going to say nuclear weapons are bad. But do you want to die over the Ukraine? That's what this argument comes down to. Do you want to start the World War III
But
over the
people are going
Ukraine?
to say, okay, if he used them on Ukraine, he would do anything.
Well, I mean, what was World War One and World War II started over? They were seemingly minor. What was World War One was over the assassination of I forget the man's name, but it's a small country. Was it Moldova? The king of Moldova he was assassinated. That started World War One. World War Two started off with like the sinking of a ship in the middle of the Atlantic, and then we started it. We came in when Japan hit us.
Yes, and Japan hit us, but they're not going to hit us, and they're not going to hit anybody in the Brits. Not going to hit anybody. They're just going to take out Kiev.
I think that using a nuke would be the beginning of World War III. That would be on because other countries would even Trump.
Okay, well,
Trump
let's look at this
other
correctly.
countries wouldn't react.
Only 8 countries have nukes. That's it. And I can tell you now, the 8 countries that have nukes are not going to give a shit if you nuke Kiev. They're not going to use them to start World War III over Kiev. No one's going to die over Kiev. It's not going to happen. Britain's not going to use them. France not going to use them. EU's not going to use them. They're just not going to do it because they all know if they launch any continental ballistic missiles, the next thing that's going to happen is 2,500 Russian missiles are going to fucking light up the sky, and there goes the northern hemisphere.
So then you're drawing a line in the sand, saying, "Okay, this is acceptable. We can."
He is drawing a line and saying that, and that's the point. He's going to. He's not going to back down from it, and we're not
So
going
they wants to stop Israel from nuking whatever they want to nuke, even though they're getting everything that they want right now.
Well, Israel's not the only place in Israel is going to nuke is Iran, and I'm still not ruling that one out. And we won't do anything about that. Think about it. If Israel nukes Iran because we think they're building nukes, we're not going to say anything about it. We're going to go bad Israel.
Yeah.
And China and Russia are going to be like, oh my God. But what are they going to do? They're not going to start World War III over Iran. This is not like now if they nuke China, if they nuke Hong Kong or London or France, that's fucking World War III. But these piss shit countries, no, they're not going to start.
If Iran attacks Israel with a nuclear device, I think that might be enough of a spark for World War III as well.
Yeah, because that won't be a spark because Israel will just fucking wipe them out. Next morning, there'll be Israel. I think, Iran might have one nuke. Israel's got more than one. There won't be no more Iran. So there's not going to be. See, that's the point. That most of these countries we're talking about can defend themselves. The Ukraine can't. It can't defend itself without it. It doesn't have nukes, and it's its own fault for giving them up. Because if it would have had nukes, Russia would have never done this. They wouldn't have done this. They'd have stayed out of there. They just said, "Fuck this," because
I think when the Ukraine when the USSR broke up, it was the state of Georgia, uh, which got the bulk of the former.
oh no, they talked about it. We watched this just the other day. The Ukraine had a shitload of nukes. I'm not kidding. Well, but everybody forgets. Russia at one point was at 15,000 nukes.
Yeah,
Let's not. Yeah, let's not forget
country on
where
the
they were.
planet. I mean, it took over
Yeah,
it took almost all of Asia and parts of Eastern Europe. I mean, it spanned 2 continents.
it's to the point where we're gonna have to be careful, but only some countries are worth dying over. And unfortunately, and it's not my call, the Ukraine and Iran and North Korea is not. Unless China decides they want to get involved for some reason and China knows they can't win. Reason China hasn't invaded Taiwan or anywhere else is because in the end they know they will get fucked.
Yeah.
And they know it. You can't taking on America one-on-one with maybe Russia backing you is one thing. You can keep us at bay. But not if Europe's involved. You've lost the war. You can't. It's just too big of enemies with too much military. And now that finally Europe's going to start building weapons again. If China's going to do something, China has to do it now. Same thing for Russia. If they wait 5 years, the EU will have as many weapons as the United States does. That's untouchable. You're not starting a war with two sides that big. That's fucking insane. Matter of fact, we'll even have to watch it that the US, the EU don't get skanky with each other. Because one of the things, and that's the other thing, when you listen to the EU and you listen how they talk, they forget the only reason they're fucking alive is us. It's the only reason they don't have to have huge militaries right now is because of us. Well, guess what? We don't want to keep spending $1 trillion a year on military when you're spending 60 billion or 80 billion. I mean, fuck, how's that fair? It's just, I don't know, but I know Trump would not lose sleep if they nuke Kiev. I hate to be like that, but in Iran, he'd probably be going, fucking A, they nuked them finally. I don't even think most of the world would be going fucking A if somebody nuked Iran. Let's be honest about
it. Well, I don't know about that because there are still quite some. I mean, even though the ISIL went through and destroyed a lot of the old artifacts and ancient buildings, there's still some artifacts in history right there we don't try to preserve. But I'm with you. I would not be totally adverse to Iran being nuked and blown off the face of the planet.
Well, I mean, because any country in today's world that goes around wanting to start wars needs to go. I don't know how we're going to get rid of Russia. Russia, and the fucked up part about Russia is Russia was behaving. After everything went down, they were behaving, and then they needed Georgia, and then they needed Crimea. Mm-hmm. And we knew, and that was just Putin getting a hard on because he was bored out of his mind. He needed to do something. He had to show that he was a manly man. What's that? Who wrote what? Oh yeah, that tornadoes all over the place, man. They've been Alabama, Louisiana, Texas. They've been all over. That it's going to be getting pretty nasty. What's that?
You didn't get hit, Joe, Mississippi,
because I'm on the coast.
Okay.
Tornadoes usually we usually stay right below the line. It's not that we don't get them, especially if there's a storm or a big storm, but usually they're a little bit above us. We're lucky in that aspect. But New Orleans is below us, and they're getting them. But New Orleans is kind of cockeyed on an angle.
Yeah, but on the plus side, if it gets out far enough, it becomes a water spout.
Yeah,
they don't last as long.
No, and they're different in the way they do things. It is kind of crazy. Lola, find a spot and get comfortable. You're in the way of my arm. I mean, it could be that maybe we get a pussy like a Trudeau in office in France or England, and they say, "Okay, you nuke Kiev, we're going to nuke you." Mm-hmm. But they know. I mean, come on. If you're the head of England or France and you nuke something in Russia, you know it's coming. There's going to be a nuke going to your major city. Paris and London's going to be gone. And you think you're going to stop them? No. You think you're going to stop them? They'll send 500 at a time. You're not stopping that. not without help from the Europeans and the Americans. And you're not going to have that, so you're going to die. All because of what? You felt that you needed to blow something up because somebody blew up Kiev. And the bitch part is, and I've heard Putin say this, he said he would warn them ahead of time so there would be minimal loss of life.
Wow. Well, that's very sporting of him. But
he wants this to be demoralizing. He wants to take the city and show. He just wants to show, not just, this isn't just showing Kiev. This is showing every country along his border. I will fucking blow you up if I have to.
Yeah.
And that changes the way. Now, what that will do will help get NATO built up again, will help get the European military built up again, will help get the American military built up again until there's such a large power in here that Russia and China can't oppose us.
I think that there'd be an act of Congress. I think Trump wouldn't be able to say a damn thing about it. And then it'd be outrage throughout the world. As soon as you see those images of burnt babies and all that, and Putin was behind it, innocent people for nothing, only to go after Zelensky, the dumbest thing ever, man. Assassinate Zelensky, different.
Well, the Congress can't declare war without the president, so just know that ahead of time.
Assassinate Zelensky is a different path, because you're getting rid of the pork. You know what I mean? And you're going to replace him with some puppet. And that's kind of what Putin wanted to begin with. So we'll see what happens. I don't think they'll ever use tactical nuke on them unless it was in the heat of a battle and they really had to and they had no other opportunity.
No, I think Putin has already said it. If this leg is on another year, that would be the only way to end it. It's his words, and I have no doubt that he means what he says.
He may not last another year himself, man.
He may not. There's a lot of stuff going on. They've tried to kill him several times since all this started, and we'll just have to wait and see where all of it goes. But
things are in the works.
Yes, besides, they always say that the end of the world starts in the Middle East, not in there.
Yeah, like we said the other show, it starts at Har-Megiddo and it's somewhere in the Middle East.
Yes, exactly, Heidi. Do they think of the long term?
No, they don't.
The big picture. Right.
So what's going to happen to Russia is everyone's going to quit doing business with them. Everyone's going to sanction them. Everyone's going to do this, that, and then Russia will be out there by itself. But no one's going to attack them because no one wants to get hit with a nuke. Once you use a nuke, one of the things, and this is one of the things that America has over everybody else. We actually use nukes to kill people. So that means we will use nukes to kill people. But no one else in the world has done that yet.
They've lost a hell of a lot of soldiers, a lot of
so
men
that might be Russia's reason they're doing it. They're losing too many people. It's time to end the war. Zelensky won't come to the table like he's been asked. Boom. Force the issue. And I guarantee you, after Kiev is nuked, there'll be a treaty the next day.
Zelensky doesn't want to lose the big bucks, right?
He don't want to lose the fame. I don't even know it's about money anymore because he's got the money.
No, he's a failed comedian. Of course, he's always looking for fame. Always looked for fame, and now he's hanging out with Hollywood stars.
He was an actor. Yeah.
He's got a boatload of money, hanging out with Hollywood stars. Not only that, they're all feeling sorry for him and whatever. Even though he travels around in his pajamas and he's not at risk, he's not at risk himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not in the battlefield. He's not out there with his soldiers fighting. He's hiding away like a cockroach. So whatever, man. I mean, is he more important than his country? Because it seems to be that the egos are getting in the way of the peace talks. You know what I mean? So, and Trump's got a short fuse with the whole thing. He'll only take so much.
Well, but they also both men have huge egos. So yeah. I mean, one of them's going to have to wind up being the alpha male in that, and back the other one.
But Zelensky and Putin are not on a level playing field. Putin is a whole different animal than Zelensky. Zelensky was just a profiteer who happened upon this position, by accident, really. I mean, this is a guy who played the piano with his penis for 5 minutes on television. He's a guy who danced in lingerie and high heels, grabbing guys' asses on TV. He is not a serious leader, in my opinion. I mean, but Putin is a very different guy.
The same thing about Ronald Reagan. He was in those stupid movies with that chimpanzee ape.
Yeah, but he wasn't dancing around in lingerie, at least. But Putin is a very serious guy. He's a very ruthless person. I think that he's got his eye on the prize, whereas Zelensky doesn't know where things are at. They're talking exile for Zelensky. They're talking about just leaving town, go to France. France is saying you can come here, so maybe that'll happen, and then they can go on with things. But then there's a lot of rebuilding to do. There's a lot.
Well, and then they got another problem. So almost 1/3 of their citizens have left. I think they said there's 6 million of them living in the United States now, which, by the way, are all worried they're going to get kicked out under the new laws. So I don't know, how all that's going to play out, but because Trump says, hey, look, if you're not contributing to our country, get out.
Yeah.
So there might be, they're trying to say that they have special reasons to be here. Well, no, with the war coming to end, you have no reason to be here. Go home and take care. So it bothered me seeing some of the people who left. So this woman and her kid and her husband left. Husband's 30, good-looking guy, 35, easily could have been a fighter. A bunch of the other ones I've seen easily could have been fighters. See, here, you would be considered a traitor here. I mean, I'm not sure why people aren't giving him more trouble. As a matter of fact, if people start realizing from where from, they probably will give him more trouble. Because you just left your country in the middle of a war. Yeah, get your family out. I'm all for get your family out. Send your wife and your kid to the United States. They had sponsors here, so they were going to be taken care of. And then you could be there helping your country stay free. Unless you never plan on going back. And after listening to these people talk, I don't think they have. Matter of fact, they Americans, they had their little ball caps on, drinking their Starbucks. Talking about they don't want to get sent back. Yeah, because they don't want to leave.
I was raised around a lot of war heroes, man, from World War II, and then also from like Vietnam, man. You listen to their stories,
crazy.
How intense things were, and how dedicated they were to fighting, what they saw as evil. So, not sure if people like that still exist in the United States. It's a very selfish generation, it seems like, out there. But I think in the end, it's robots, right? It's drones, robots, electronic equipment, and then whoever's in the field is whatever suckers that are going to be cannon fodder, right? Isn't that how it goes? But you know what? When I was young, it was important to be a man, and it was important to hold up to your responsibility. It was important to fight for what you believed in. And if you left, there was a war in America, and you left, or if there was a strike, you'd be considered a coward and a traitor. So that's the way I look at it, and I know that's the way you guys kind of look at it too, in a lot of ways. So, I mean,
it's hard. I mean, it's like if you lived here and our country was being beat up on, and France said, "Well, you come live over here," and if you went, well, that's just abandoning your country. It means you don't care about it, and screw it. And
it's very French. You know what I mean? Very, very French.
Yeah.
It's very not going to work for most of us, though. That's the problem. And
I've never found European men except, let me think, man. Italian men are pretty much guys. Irish men are pretty much guys.
They're what?
Groups, but there's a lot of like especially France,
get
whatever,
a couple.
They're very light. They're very light in the wrist. A lot of them, you know what I mean? Like not stand up type of guys. Not somebody who would I'm gonna protect you or do something. I don't know. I think I was just raised in a generation that it was important, responsible, and important to look out for one another.
That's how I was raised. I'm sure Jay was raised that, and so was Joe.
Oh,
yeah, because we're all old fuckers. You know what I mean?
I was raised to kill you, pigs.
Joe's driving around with his handgun in traffic. You know what I mean? He's a cowboy. That's a fucking cowboy right there. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to drive a Subaru or a fucking.
Oh, I can tell you, whoever is stupid enough to try to invade the South is going to fucking regret it.
You see people pointing guns at each other in traffic.
I mean, these motherfuckers are going to regret it. They'll be feeding them to the hogs, feeding them to the alligators. They will have to bomb us out of existence.
You have to look at, who tries to attack Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
Pennsylvania should have been Pennsylvania, if you go back and read about them back in the day, they should have been a southern state. Y'all get fucked up there somehow.
Hogs do not eat fingernails or teeth, man. So
Pennsylvania is the largest agrarian state in the Northeast.
I got a friend who owns a farm. She told me everything.
That's because y'all wanted to be with the South, but you couldn't be.
Jay, what'd you say?
Pennsylvania is the largest agrarian state in the Northeast.
What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Loving,
farm
kind,
country.
peaceful, loving.
It's also the only state that's on fire from underground.
We try in Philadelphia, so we know that ain't true.
You got the fire burning in PA.
We do. There is a fire here, but yeah, it's the largest farming state in the Northeast.
Centralia.
Oh, that's a trip. I was there. That's crazy.
That's not far from where maybe an hour.
That's a crazy place.
Yeah, it's
The
on
fire
fire
going-
underneath. The coal fire been burning for how many goddamn 100
Okay.
years? I don't know.
1950 or something like that.
Yeah, they tried to put it out with explosives. Boom. Yeah.
Do you know the post office there's like 5 or 10 people that live in Centralia, and the government came in and they even took their zip code away from up there. They have no zip code.
I know people can fall through the ground there, and it's not very good.
Say good people. Fiona, you want to say
Pennsylvania. I got a lot of great memories of Pennsylvania because I had family in
It
Lansdale.
has some cool memories of Pennsylvania. It's got some neat stuff in it.
But that's where we used to go on kind of vacation. We didn't go very far, but we used to go there, and it was real cool, man. Like it was close to Strasbourg, close to Lancaster, all those cool areas, man. A lot of battlefields. Valley Forge, man. First battlefield I was ever at was Valley Forge.
I got a question for you guys, and I've had shows on this. Would you consider Pittsburgh the gateway to the Midwest?
Nah.
It's not the
I don't
crackle.
consider Ohio the Midwest. I consider Ohio kind of the creepy fungus on the side of the toe.
Yeah, y'all are still northeast in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Midwest. I think
it's
Iowa
not
is more
quite
than
there
Midwest.
yet, but it's close.
Iowa is starting like Iowa. You
Yep.
know what I mean? That gets into the Midwest. I think. Me personally, that Kansas, Oklahoma, that's all Midwest.
Stop. Okay, well, we got to go to break because we're on a half-hour mark. So that's instead of the hour because we started tonight. So
But Pittsburgh is the gateway to zombie.
I'm fixing to give a dog away here.
That's
man.
where zombies came from.
The zombie apocalypse.
Sort of.
Yes.
I think that's the coolest.
The zombies came from Australia, mate. Don't try to take our
Pittsburgh's a
flavor.
very
They
unique
can
city,
come from
man. It's unique.
Australia,
I
mate.
think it's real cool. I like the building.
Don't try. All right, but anyway, we're going to break.
Really
You Australians keep your zombies down there. You
Well,
Pittsburgh people, you keep your fucking zombies up there
Pittsburgh's
too.
great.
You California people, you keep your fucking zombies out there.
Pennsylvania, man. You know
We
what?
just said they got to keep their fucking zombies up there. But anyway, we're going to break.
You
Y'all
got the
behave.
Philadelphia sandwiches, man. Like cheesesteak.
Listen to whatever's coming on now. So we'll see y'all in 8 or 9 minutes. Bloop. Hey, Mom, what the bloody hell was that?
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Hey, Jay, grab me a YouTube link for the station and send it to me on my messenger for the live show.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
When they are consuming your minds ideas and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen. There is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
We got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey, because you are
Gene, I'm gonna play just the start of this, but no, because we're coming back from break, so I'll let you hear it when we hold on, I gotta stop
if
that.
I was a rich man,
But no, I'm gonna share it right quick and let you hear it, and then when we come back, I'll play it on one of the breaks. Okay. Anyway, when next break we'll play it, because we've already had a break, so we can't play that right now. For the ladies, you need to close your eyes too. It can be quite a Anyway, just close your eyes.
Is
if you
this
don't
guy
like
gay? Is Julio Iglesias that?
No, he's not gay, man. First off, he's got his dad's got 9 or 10 kids. I think he's on his way to 3 or something.
Julio is gay, right?
No, he's not gay. Sorry, gay. What's his name is gay, Ricky, whatever his name is, but not Julio Iglesias.
Are they all gay? I thought they were all gay, those guys.
Oh no, man, they're not gay, dude. They're your typical South American hottie toddy guys.
I don't know. I think Julio Iglesias is gay.
His dad. His dad is Julio. His dad's got 10 kids, I believe.
What's his name?
It's Julio Iglesias. This is Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique, yeah, he's the gay one. Right?
Yeah, no, he's not gay one. No. His brothers wish he was as gay as he was. How's that? What's that, Gino? No, we ain't got to worry about that part. He's a bad boy.
Enrique will be lucky if he's not involved in the P. Diddy stuff.
Oh, there I am. Okay, there I am. I don't think he had to worry about that stuff. I think he had plenty of what being thrown at him no matter where he was at. He's a good-looking guy. His dad, he did all the time. I mean, women just worship his dad. Even now that he's an old bastard, they still do.
Well, gay guys are usually good-looking.
But no, there are good-looking guys. Thank you very much. Anyway, did you hear that bullshit, Fiona? Fiona's like, what kind of bullshit was that? I know. I agree with you. My dogs are up my ass because it's thundering outside. They're like, Daddy, the world's crackling. There's nuclear weapons flying over our heads and shit.
The sky is falling, Daddy. The sky is falling.
It is funny because Keesler Air Force Base the other day put Keesler and I forgot what the WAC base is, but they both put out a thing saying excessive training, expect loud noises and lots of helicopters. I think bitches, we got lots of helicopters.
Do they
do what?
They give you warnings down there?
Sometimes, not all the time. We see helicopters anywhere from 1 to 5 a day, sometimes in groups, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them flying by. I've seen them as low as that you could see the tag on the guy's on his shirt, low enough that everything in my house is coming off the walls and shit.
Where I lived in Rockville, Sean, we were in the flight path for the presidential helicopters to go to Camp David. So we would often get flown over by 4 or 5 sets of 4 and 5 helicopters in groups just go right over our neighborhood.
There's so many flights that even my dogs know they're not supposed to be.
I guess he's not gay, man. He's going out with some Russian tennis player and Kirkoniva.
Yeah, the one he's been with for like 20 years. He's been with for 20 years. I think they got 3 kids or something.
The couple has a son and daughter who are fraternal twins born on the 16th of December in 2000.
Yeah, but they haven't gotten married. They won't get married for some reason. They've been together like 20 years, but they still haven't gotten married. Hey, look, people do for whatever people does reasons for. Maybe
this Bob is cool, man. I like that song, Frank Sinatra. The summer wind came blowing in across my balls.
He's good.
He's on good stuff.
Tickled my hair.
I know Mike's always got the good shit, man. They're growing their own up there in upstate New York. That's what's going on. Or he's getting that experimental shit up there.
It's that home.
That's coming out of the Hudson Valley.
Moon rocks.
No, you getting that experimental shit coming out there.
That experimental hybrid shit. They don't know what it does to do.
He's getting that, Joe. He's getting that stuff from that raccoon.
Moon rocks is 54% THC.
He's getting the stuff Willie Nelson won't smoke.
I never had moon rocks. I'm afraid to try it.
It's pretty good. It ain't too bad. That and the Mardi Gras both pretty good. The last Moon Rocks I smoked THC count was 38. It wasn't too bad. It got you lit. And then I had smoked some
54.
Oh man, I was in DC. When somebody offered me the Mardi Gras weed. It is really pretty. It's purple, green, and gold. It's really pretty. And he lit it up. THC was about 42. But the thing is, if I get too high, I get paranoid. So I don't want to get too high. I want to enjoy myself.
Because really, that crap weed. The really good weed doesn't make you paranoid, man.
Oh no, dude! Really, that's what the thing is. The really good weed does make me paranoid. That's the problem. Crap weed doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I could smoke Mexico dirt weed till I fell off a truck. It wouldn't even phase me. It's a THC count.
If you go to DC now, you can go to the dispensaries and get magic mushrooms. You can't get the raw mushrooms. They're either in like an edible or a chocolate candy bar, but you can get an eighth of magic mushrooms in say a Hershey bar. 35, 40, 50 bucks.
Well, next time I
your balls off for the next 4 or 5 hours.
All right, we're gonna go out gold hunting, and then I'm gonna take you mushroom hunting.
Never done shrooms, man.
Oh, they're fun.
I know where to get them. They still got them. You can still find.
I did mess with
fucked up though.
So fun. They're very similar.
You know what was to save? You know what to save your shrooms was? Does anybody know what to save your shrooms was? You're gonna love this. So you know how they got rid of shrooms, right? They added the chemical into the cow's feed, and it killed them. So now that we have organic cows, which don't get any kind of food with chemicals in it, guess what has made a return? Shrooms.
Magic mushrooms.
Because they have a place to grow now, and they were saying the farmers and ranchers were talking about it, going, we didn't, when we got into this, we didn't really think about this. This is a problem. They're saying people are constantly out on the ranch out there getting
sell it to the dispensaries in Washington D.C. They'll make it into edibles. And sell
it shit just cracks me up. But it just tells you how the world works. They find a way to wipe them out, and did a good job of it, and then
nature finds a way.
So then the humans say, "Well, we're going to do this because we're ignorant," and guess what? We brought them back. Jimmy, shrooms are like a really low grade acid. Even a good shrooms, maybe a middle grade. I don't know.
I've only done mescaline twice, and the first time I swore I'd never do it again, and the second time I swore I'd never do it again. Actually,
fuck mescaline.
To be honest, Michael, I enjoyed both mescaline and mushrooms, and they both were very, very similar, both very colorful.
Yeah.
Mescaline was very geometric, and mushrooms were very cartoonish.
I didn't like the mescaline 22-hour high. It wasn't good.
Oh man, well,
how about acid? It'll last you 3 or 4 days if you're not careful.
That's crazy.
I used to babysit for this guy named Smitty. He was the lead singer for something Zipper. I can't remember the damn name of his band now. But anyway, I used to babysit for him all the time. He would pay me in weed. So he said, "Man, I got some sugar cube acid. You want to try some?" He said it's the original sunshine formula from Vietnam. I'm like, what? And I'd never really done acid. I think maybe one time.
You know what? Someone told me about that.
Oh, dude.
Sunshine. Yeah.
First off, I tripped for 3.5 days nonstop. I I couldn't even walk out to my car because it was like walking through some kind of fucked up weird tunnel for miles and miles. And then I got in my car like a dumbass and started up and was going to drive. But you know how you get the little light spikes that come off of lights when you're driving? I thought they were stabbing through my car and shit. I'm like, no, we got to park this thing. Oh man, it was. And then I went to work. I was working as a maintenance guy for Ramada Inn. And I remember one of the girls there, she says, man, she's been trying to get my pants for a while. And she said, why don't we go sit on top of the elevator and smoke a joint, help you chill out. Yeah, I know what she was after. Well, I didn't at the time. I figured it out a little while later. It was, dude, I mean, I'm not kidding you. I tripped. So anytime I went over, he'd always give me 4 or 5 cubes. And all my friends like, no, nothing trips like that. I'd give it to him. And they'd come back 2 days later, still tripping. I'm like, you okay, man? Shit was, but then you know what? But it sucks though. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they moved to Seattle, which I don't know how to make it myself. So people would come out. I got microdot. Yeah, microdot. Yeah, fuck microdot. Oh, I got some acid ass now. Once you do that, you're fucked because nothing else is the same, and it's a clean high. It wasn't nothing dirty about it. It's like because some acid gives you a dirty high. This is nice, clean, smooth. Let you kind of trip out. What? I never did acid. I'm just telling him from other people's descriptions. Who the hell told you that?
They did. Jay and Mike taught me.
I never did acid, man. Only mescaline, whatever that thing is. Acid.
Mescaline's like a well, it's kind of like acid. It is really. I don't know. We don't want to get into the chemistry of it because then people get all stupid.
If you get the really bad stuff, it can be cut with strychnine, and it can cinch your back up.
I knew this chick. She was a deadhead, and she had
the really good stuff. I
keep
talking about in sugar cubes. You might up expect to take it Friday and expect to be coming down on it by about Monday afternoon.
If you want hallucinogenics, you find a deadhead, and they'll hook you up.
Who does cocaine? Not me. I don't do that. That's just bad for you, man.
Coke was back in the day, man. That was the club business. That was the music business. That was the art scene.
Man.
It was cocaine and champagne. All the way.
Actually, Sherry, I am boring. I don't do anything. I am boring. I don't even drink alcohol. Iced tea most of the time. Yeah. Oh no, when I was young, that's different. When I was young, in my 20s, I was an idiot. What did I know? I tried everything I get my little fingers on.
Oh. Okay, Jay, look, gotta show mine.
I remember. I got out the Navy. I was 195 pounds solid muscle, and we got on this Miley
2 weeks later, 295 pounds.
No, we got on this. We got on this. First, we got on this yellow Miley kick, and we were eating 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. And then a friend of mine got some black ones, which are even better. We're still eating 5, 6. No, I'm not shitting you. In less than a month, I was 144. I was like, wow, what the fuck happened? I said, and you know what? I didn't even realize it. I was walking past the mirror and I seen myself and I was like, I look like one of them Ethiopian kids. I was like, what the? And dude, I mean, I just come out of boot camp. I mean, not out of boot camp, but out of Navy. I was just like, it was kind of weird, kind of scary too. Tells you how easy it is to get wrapped up in shit. Man. No, we were just partying. We were dancing. I was competing in a lot of clubs and I was competing, I was competing in darts. I was competing on the dance floor. I was competing in quite a few things actually, and I was always going. So we were
like Zelensky, man.
Somebody had tried to put a pair of high heels on me. I'd shove them up their ass. That's where them high heels would end up.
Crossing the equator.
So you walked into that one, buddy.
I would. Them high heels would go right up there.
Start torquing that ass. You're crossing the equator, buddy.
Yeah.
I still can't get that mental image out of my mind.
You may not be aware of this. Joe Montaldo is the actual inventor of the twerk.
Twerk it.
Shh, don't tell anybody. I want my dollar per twerk, though, you bitches. So you better quit that.
How's the weather there, Joe? Were you having tornadoes all day today?
No, we're not. But up north of us, we're having rain, bad rain. Most of my dogs are at my ass right now because it's been thundering and lightning outside. Yeah, I have to pet them so they won't screech during the whole show. It's Yeah, Lola just got behind me and went to sleep. She said, "Fuck it, it's got to kill Daddy to kill me." So
you kill him first. He's above me. Yeah.
The other one's kind of like, "Hey, look, it's noisy out there." What do you mean? What do you mean a list of drugs? I didn't know. Indeed not, because I didn't do any. Yeah, I can't give you a list of something I didn't do. You don't believe me? I don't know what to tell you. No, man, my kid was born when I was 23. I couldn't be doing all that bad stuff. The hell's wrong with you people? See, I always got y'all's head in the ground. Oh, I know a lot about that, but I can't talk about that. This show is not X-rated. Sorry. It's quadruple R-rated, but it ain't X-rated.
Quadruped R. NC-17. Let's just make it right.
Shit, NC-17 my ass. My dog couldn't watch this show. I had to put what's up, baby? You said these guys are crazy.
This is like one R rating below X.
Janice, to be honest with you, we used to get raw shrooms. We'd put them in a pot and boil them for a while. We'd drain them off. We'd pour that in. We'd pour that into an iced tea, usually like a quart, a big one, and shake it up real good and pass it around, and everybody get a nice, smooth, clean buzz. Well, you can eat the shrooms that's left over. They'll get you high too. Or you can mix them into stuff. You do that. You put them on pizza. You do whatever you want with them. Really.
What do they taste like?
Really, once you boil them, they don't really have
with you. If you eat them raw, I put them on bologna and onion sandwiches, and then within 20 minutes, you're hallucinating.
You got to clean them real good, because they're growing in cow
they're
shit.
Treating depression with shrooms now.
And they're not growing this in cow shit. I bet you they've found a better medium to grow them in, but that's where you get them. I mean, you can walk out in any cattle field it's organic cows and find them.
I'd rather see them treat things like depression with shrooms and natural stuff than pharmaceuticals. I'll tell you, man. I think that's smart going for nature.
Well, what is that, Denise? No, shrooms aren't really addictive. They're I mean, I guess it could be if you get them all the time. But
they're very, very fun.
But no, you do them. You might do them once or twice. You might not even think about them again for a while, and then it's not like some of the other drugs where it leaves this imprint in your brain.
Yeah,
you know what was big when I was young? I never did them myself. Was Quaaludes, man.
I've done those.
Black Beauties, things like that.
Oh my god.
We used to go to Quaalude parties.
When I was a teenager, dude, that's a long time ago, dude.
I hung out with people who were older than me. When I was 18, I was hanging out with people who were like 30.
The 70s thing. The Quaalude era was the 70s and like early 80s.
Yeah, they were definitely in the 80s for sure. It's I remember being in lots of clubs where they were.
In the 80s, I think weed took back over in the 80s, especially when they invented the Love Boat. When people would come around asking if Captain Steubing was in, and I don't know if anyone ever tried that shit, but that stuff.
I remember they had this group called Aurora 714, and they used to go around with big bags of Quaaludes at their concerts, and inside these were enclosed concerts like clubs, and just raining Quaaludes. I'd walk out of there sometimes with 200-300 of them bitches. It's you'd be ripped for days. No, they got rid of them because Quaaludes were seriously addicted and they gave you a seriously good high. So they got rid of them. They were just.
How do they compare to like an OxyContin? Because I remember OxyContin.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, these, you know what these were really? If I had to explain it, this would be a cross between like a Loratab and a Vicodin.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry, a Loratab and a Xanbar or a Valium. It was like a cross between. It's like it had both drugs in it because you'd get that from the Xanbar, but then you get that pickup from the pain pill, and they were. That's why people liked them, man. You eat two of them, you were fearless, and you were relaxed and fearless, which made you really dangerous. It's you'd go in clubs. Everybody in the clubs would be on it. They'd be dancing, booze, coke, and shit flying everywhere.
I'm not into any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't like any drugs that leave you feeling out of control.
But you know what's funny? Like 30 years ago, I was dating this girl, and then I got back problems here and there. My back went out, and then she's like, "Oh, my grandpa's got back problems. He's got these back pills." She's like, "Let me grab you a couple." She went over there. Come back, grandpa's back pills. I'm like, what are these? They weren't even marked, really. I'm like, what are these? And then she's like, that's just stuff that he gets for his back. So like, he's like,
give me, girl.
Yeah, she said, he said, take one, take two if you're really bad. So I took one.
You should have asked if her dad's name was Dexter, man.
So I took one, right? And then I'm out doing my business, whatever. And I noticed that everything is so fucking green. Like the grass was greener, like the trees were greener. Like it was nice. I was feeling pretty good. And then, my back wasn't bothering me at all. But I was like, man, this is pretty good. I realized whatever those pills were, I could get addicted to those because it makes you feel better. Yeah. It makes you, it enhances everything, you know?
I think that I was watching on YouTube. I think I did a show on it a long time ago, though. Did the CIA did an experiment with drugs for all the dead concerts?
They experimented on all kinds of people for all kinds of things.
Yeah, blowing stuff into the smoke system. Where do you think Cheech and Chong got the idea from? It was just they did a lot of shit they shouldn't have. They tested a lot of different types of acid.
Crack cocaine is CIA, man. Introduced it to the urban neighborhoods. You know, people's lives they destroyed, all to fund war. That was really to push cocaine. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
What they really did is they made cocaine affordable to the people who couldn't afford it. Because before that, an eighth of cocaine was around $200.
No, they came up with a purified form to drive that money. I mean, this has been.
That's what I'm saying. No, because
no one's ever been.
So if you were below, say, $30,000 a year, you couldn't afford cocaine. You wasn't buying an 8-ball. You wouldn't get none of that. You might get a little taste here and there. But a $20 rock,
you can get an eighth for like $25, $30.
So a $25 rock, no, not the good shit. You couldn't. But you can get a $20 rock all day long. That's why they were so popular. You can get a $10 rock, a $5 rock, a $25 rock.
1985 in New York City,
I'd slap somebody who did
eighth would cost you like $200 to $350. Now, if you went to the South Bronx,
we're talking crack is on the scene too.
Everybody was going to the South Bronx and dealing with the Colombians and the Dominicans, where you can get an eighth of really good stuff for $100, and then people would have to step on it. So then you end up with a quarter. You know what I mean? So I mean that's just the way it was. But you risk your ass. People shooting at each other. You know what I mean? Like it was a war zone, man. You know, and then cops would tell you, don't stop for red lights.
You know, it was different down here. The mobs were set up in places like Dino's Hard Rock. You'd go in there. There's cocaine all over the place. I mean, in the manager's office, usually 2-3 cops in there with them, and they're back there snorting their happy asses off.
You know what? The music business, it was cocaine, and it was so much of it everywhere. You know, it was very common.
And I didn't realize it until much later in life that I got away with being in a lot of places because of my last name. I had no idea because I stumble into place, and I still remember Dino. He looked over at me one day. He said, "What are you doing up here?" I said, "Actually, I was coming to get the stuff for the pool cues because I want to shoot some pool and the darts." And he said, "Oh," he said, "I gave him the genie behind the bar." I said, "I didn't mean to interrupt." He said, "You're okay. We know who you are." And I'm thinking, "What do you mean you know who I am? I don't even know who the fuck I am. How do you know who the fuck I am?" And then we'd go next door. You know, I was playing darts next door at T Tiger's place, Tony the Tiger, and he worked for Vincent Marcella, and a good friend of mine worked for both of them. He used to take me on collections with him. He was something else, guys. So we'd get up. He tells me one day, he goes, "I want you to take a ride with me." I'm like, "Where are we going?" He said, "Oh, I got to go pick up some money." I'm like, "All right, cool." And so we hop in the car, and he gets his gun, and puts it in the car, and puts one in his boot. I'm like, yeah. He said, "Oh, you know, just in case again, you know." I'm like, it's kind of bullshit. And I said, "Whatever, dude. I carry them." And so we hit up Laplace. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. He knocks on the we're a big bar. Knocks on the door. This little girl answers the door. "Oh, Mr. Baylor. Oh man!" Boom! Like 50 people come out of fucking nowhere. They're all up this guy's ass. He said, "Hold on, let me go get him." He goes up and gets the guy who owns the place. He comes out, "Hey, I didn't know he's coming this early. You should call and told me you wake me up this early in the morning." He said, "But you know the girl's got the jacuzzi warmed up. You don't have a little jacuzzi. I have him cook you up some breakfast. You need a drink." And of course, then he comes out with an envelope, which is about yay thick, and he hands it to him. He said, "Hey, okay." He said, "I'll see you next month." He said, "Yeah, I might come by and see you." He said, "I've been needing a good back rub." And we went to that one day, 20 of these places. And I was like, "Jesus, can you how much money y'all making?" He said, He said, "Look in my glove box." And he had a brick, 50 grand. He just kept in his glove box that was here. And then he had 250 grand in his air conditioning system at his house. And I didn't find that out until he decided to go on vacation. He calls me up one day and said, "I want you to babysit my house." Well, he had an Afghan. I thought he wanted me to watch the dog. You know? So he comes in, he pulls all this shit down, opens all this shit up. He says, "You see that? They better be here when I get back. I'm like, what is that? He says $250,000. They better be here. So what the fuck did you even show me that, man? I mean, was this like a test? Am I going to grab it and run me? Why show me the money in the glove box, and why show me the money in your house? I didn't know it was there. I didn't want to know it was there.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work for that group, though. I did a lot of bar remodeling for them, and I made a lot of money with them. I ain't gonna lie. It's just and nobody asked. None of it was illegal. It was all legal, above the board money. I remodeled bars. I was a contractor. Yes, that's what I did.
You weren't going in there at midnight and like remodeling them.
I knew, well, actually, just tells you, because I was kind of naive, actually. Half these guys, I didn't know who they were. I was thinking Tony the Tiger. What does this guy name himself after? The fucking cereal? Really, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, kid, this
like this,
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing, man?
And then I remember I'm over there with John. John's 7'4". No, about 7. He was 7'4". He's about 7'2" after the accident, but we in there, and he's hanging in the ski lines. He's got his arm hanging over the rafters, and we talk, and Kenny comes out and Tony comes out, and I said, "Oh, you're gonna stay for breakfast?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Vincent wants you to stay for breakfast. They knew your daddy really well." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm staying for breakfast." And here comes Vincent walking in. I'm looking at him. I said, "I've seen this guy's face before." And because we used to go to Carlos Marcello's house, we used to play there a lot when we were kids. And none of us knew. I mean, we were all just part of the family. Nobody really knew what the hell they were doing. And he comes up. He gives me a big hug. He said, "I miss your dad. I wish he was still around. He's always a good man to talk to. Helped keep me out of trouble because my dad was older than him." And he goes, he said, "Oh, well, Carlos will be out one of these days. You'll be able to see him again." And I'm thinking, And then he looks over at me. He goes, "Why ain't you joined the family yet?" And Tony says, "Well, I hadn't really asked him yet, Vincent." He said, Kenny said he didn't think he was gonna, he would be liking to do something like that. And then the whole conversation stopped right there. I had a big steak breakfast with a bunch of, well, I don't want to say who else was there because there's probably women listening, but. And then I went out that night with some friends, came back and played darts, and nobody mentioned it again for almost a year. And then we were in the club one night. We just won the state championship, actually, the platinum championship. And everybody was getting their checks. And he came up and said, "Well, what about our offer? What did you think?" I said, "Well, don't take this the wrong way." I said, "But my daddy said if you ever offered to say no." He said, "Really? Did he tell you that?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Because I might not be smart enough to get out." And he just kind of looked at me like he was just stunned. I kind of thought one bitch was going to slap me there for a minute. And he said, well, he said, "It's an open offer. Think about it." And John, Big John, who's not in the mob, he's just a friend. He walks up behind me with two of my other friends, and they just kind of rip up behind me like, "Are you talking shit to Joe?" And I still remember T-Tiger's face. T-Tiger looked up at him like, "Wow, you instill loyalty because these motherfuckers have no clue who I am, do they?" I said, "Tony, I really don't know who you are, dude." So then he sat down to tell us. He ordered dinner. He ordered dinner for everybody. He sat us down to tell us exactly where he was in the scheme of things. He was way the fuck up there. I should have known he owned the club in Fat City. I should have known he was somebody, but I was wanting to play darts. I didn't give a shit about it. I was raising a kid, playing darts, building a business. I didn't really give a shit about any of that stuff. And the sad part is, deep down, I still don't. I mean, if I'd have done it, I'd have been way richer and probably retired 20 years ago. But, you never know what you're going to have to do for that money. What's that, Stephanie? Oh, you don't believe me? What part you don't believe? Oh, you don't believe I didn't take the money? Is that what you're saying? Well, to each their own. What do you mean I'm a millionaire? Who told you that? Yeah, tell me who told you that so I can make some arrangements. I want to send them flowers. That's all. Yeah, some flowers, some pretty smelling flowers.
Put a horse in their bed. Put a horse head in their bed.
In all fairness, it's like when they tell me I'm in charge of military abductions. So I'm in the mafia and I'm in charge of military. Oh, I guess those two might go hand in hand. Shit, I didn't think about that. That explains why I can say shit on the internet that nobody else can say. Everybody can say what I can say. It's a free country.
Of course.
What do you mean you've heard me say things that nobody else can say? Like what?
What?
Oh, you're not going to say? Anyway, enough of all of that. What are you talking about, Ginger? Oh, you're talking about Eurykio. Yeah, he's a hottie. What can I say?
Enrique Iglesias.
He's a good-looking guy. You can't
got the
deny he's a
movies,
good-looking
man.
guy.
He's not gay, Michael. Sorry about that. Michael.
He might swing the bat from both sides of the plate, though, Sean.
You know who is
Doesn't
one of his.
have a
You know who?
Non-binary.
No, you know who one of his good friends on this should help y'all out. This little short guy about this tall. He's got like 8 wives and 10 kids. Little white guy. His name's Pitbull. Yeah, they do a lot of music together.
Yeah, well,
Pitbull did a lot of music with a lot of. He was in it. Yeah, but they do a lot of music together. Pitbull does a lot of music with a lot of people.
I'm not up on things, man.
Doesn't mean it's any good.
Well, I mean, some of them are right. What's that one? Timber. That's so this one with Enrique is pretty decent.
Most of the
He
musicians
really doesn't sing that much in this one either. What's that? He is stinking rich, is what he is. Well, Pitbull has somehow figured out how to make it by putting a little bit of his talent in with somebody's big talent. Like I was just talking about in Timber. Who is that? Jennifer Anderson? No, who's he singing with? Oh, now I can't remember, but oh no, he does a country song with 2 of the biggest country singers around. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like that song. It's like that song I played on Arthur's Quill today. How do they get 40 stars in there to sing? I mean, how do you do that? How do you get that many cameos and make them work? The closest one I've seen to that would probably be Kryptonite.
Because they all signed contracts.
What about the video I showed with Earl Scruggs from Flatt and Scruggs, who did the Beverly Hillbillies theme? You have like Steve Martin, Ricky Skaggs, the one of the guys from ZZ Top. Paul Schaefer.
Those guys are old and
all these big music guys.
The other ones, they sign contracts, man, with their companies. Yeah. They've got to do whatever they're told, basically. As long as
get out there, bitch, and sing.
Get on that stage.
Get on that stage and pick that band.
What's that, Cuz 181? What are you up to?
Commercials with James Earl Jones. He was doing these MCI commercials, right, where he was kind of dancing, looking like a fool. And here's this brilliant career. This guy. I mean, James Earl Jones, come on, I mean, look, remember Conan the Barbarian? Like, he was in there,
Never heard of it.
Just such a wicked, awesome role. The voice of Darth Vader, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
I mean, but he did so many things, man. And here he is looking like a fool in MCI. Look at Seal. Have you seen that commercial with Seal?
Yeah, I have.
For Mountain
I've seen it.
I don't know what they paid that dude, but it wasn't enough because he looked like I'm like, oh my God, Seal, really?
I saw that commercial.
It's embarrassing, right? Were you embarrassed with him?
I would.
Juice 182 says they want to give Sean a colonoscopy. What the fuck?
Already had one. Had one already.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta
already had one. Sorry. You gotta wait.
Hard to resist a free colonoscopy, man. They're pretty expensive.
Oh, shit.
A free one.
There you go.
I guess they don't like me.
I don't. Y'all are weird out there.
I guess they know that I'm Dexter. Hey, I read this actual story about that Dexter, where the show was made. He was a sick dude, man. He was a real sick dude. He killed a police officer at the age of 14 because he fired his dad. Yeah, cut him up. Oh yeah, he killed
some people. Good.
He probably had
that shit happen.
That show is based on a true story.
I never watched the show, so I haven't never ever looked into it.
You got to have it in you to do it. You know what I mean? Like, in the circumstances of your life and whatever. I know people who grew up in some pretty tough situations, including myself. I'm not a crazy killer, and then the people that I know aren't either. But I know people who were bad, and they're always bad, and they grew up bad, and then they're still bad to this day. Some of them are dead, but that's just that's the cut of their jib. I mean, what do you do with that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
They could kill you as soon as look at you. They wouldn't
Yeah,
care.
there are
They
people
would.
out
They
there
would,
like that. Absolutely, but
total sociopath. They're unfazed, no remorse, no nothing.
So here's my question
Business.
to you, Michael. Are you
Yeah,
born a sociopath, or is it in the genes, or how do you
yeah. I
become
mean,
one?
the ones I met, they were sociopaths right in their heart. I mean, it's just a chemical imbalance or whatever you want to call it, that makes them like that. But it's pretty scary. A lot of them climb to the top of the industry. A
Last
lot of
time
them
I
go pretty
checked, they
far
were many
because
crappy
they don't
cars.
have too many limitations.
Pretty crappy cars, really
They're
crappy
not feeling
cars.
about hurting your. Oh, I don't care about hurting your feelings. They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They'll push you aside. They'll push you off the building. They'll push you down the stairs, and they'll be like, "Ha ha ha,"
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and get some kind of gratification from it. So I've met a lot, and then and what those people are, and then male or female, because I know a lot of females, beautiful women that were total sociopaths that could care less what they do, how they hurt you. I mean, some of them were very violent, and they got away with it, man. So I don't know, but it takes all kinds, I guess. But you just have to stay away from that. Stay away from them. Prisons are full of them, you know. And I think some criminals actually they get into bad situations, they do stupid things, they have remorse because there's no undo button. But then there's those types that, they're very matter of fact, they're very entitled and mentally entitled, that they think everything is owed to them and given to them. They look down on everybody and they think they can do anything like Trump. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you're right. I think a good majority of people committing major crimes like that have already in their mind, justified the reason for them doing it. So it's like not a big thing already anyway.
Right, exactly. It's they, as long as they think that it's okay in their mind, then I can see those other points of view that was wrong with what they did.
Can you imagine being a psychologist today or a psychiatrist?
I know a few, but they baffle people with bullcrap.
I worked as a bartender all through college and a little bit after college until I got found like a career I enjoyed. So yeah, bartender, psychologist, about the same thing.
There's no pill that's going to make a sociopath not be a sociopath. There's no pill. I mean, there's no,
and there's no litmus test either that says they could have said what Dahmer before he killed. There's no way to predict it. It either happens or
Jeffrey Dahmer. They caught him hammering kittens and animals when he was 5-6 years old, killing them.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, they should have done obviously tests at least, but who knows? Well, he's going to grow up to eat people. Yeah. I mean, damn. But yeah, they're out there, man. They're out there, and you know what? A good sociopath can lie, can deceive. They can smooth right under your radar. He knows
exactly what answers to give the authorities.
A lot of them are very intelligent.
To be, completely insane.
A lot of them are very intelligent. They're going to listen to you. They're going to. It's called modeling and also mirroring of what you say. They're going to listen to you. Some of them are really high end when it comes to tech, when it comes to manipulation of people. They're master manipulators. I mean, like I read this book about NLP, neurological linguistic programming, about how to communicate with people and whatever when I was in communications, and then listening to what people say. Do they talk with a visual sense? Hey, I'll see you later. Let me look at this. I mean, when someone's throwing those words at you, you know that they're speaking in a visual sense. And then if you speak back to them in that visual sense, you're going to communicate better. They're going to receive that better. Or if they talk in an auditory, hey, I hear you. I'm going to listen to this. Or let me do that. It's like or kinesthetic. I feel you. I want to get my hands on this and see what the deal is. But and sometimes they'll shift back and forth. So if you know how to sell, if you're some super salesman and you know how to, if you're let's say you're conversing with someone like that, and you're listening to them, they're going to show you windows into their lives. So all you got to do is ask them a question. Let's say you're selling a car to somebody, right? What was the very first car that you really loved, and what did you love about it? They're going to tell you everything that you need to know to sell. Okay, I'm going to show you this. This car's got a lot of power. It's got great stereo, whatever. You know what I mean? But they're out there, man. And the real serious master manipulators practice that. And there's a lot of material out there.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to understand that about people, you know? So I don't know, man.
Well, Joe's like in tuned or engrossed.
No, I was watching a news ship landing. That's all. I was debating on whether I was going to put it online with us or not.
What ship, man? What we got?
The X-33.
So do you think that little X?
No, I was looking at the Dragon earlier.
I'm asking a serious question, man. A real serious question. Do you think that X? Because I was watching X walking with Trump, getting on the helicopter, right? Do you think that he's really Damien Omen? You know the movie Omen, the kid that came on, the devil kid, and then the devil takes over. Do you think that X is the devil kid? Does he have Rottweilers?
No,
if he had two Rottweilers walking with him, I'd be like, time to get out of Dodge. You know what I mean? There's a holy war coming. There's a holy war.
Sending more boats over somewhere.
Jihad, God damn it.
So man, we've been mounting these.
Is he the Omen?
No, man. He's. I'm telling you, he's Drax, man.
What happened?
He's Drax. Yeah, he's Drax. He's
Drax,
not
man. He's not an evil demon. He's just Drax, man.
Is he Drax?
But he wants to model the world. No, Drax was just misunderstood.
Obama failed.
Even Jaws understood that Drax.
I mean, Drax was just understood. You know, he was just completely misunderstood.
It was the one eyebrow. If it was,
he just wanted to create a better world. They didn't want to let him, so he had to go down and do it on his own.
Yeah,
billionaire with one eye, and all the scientists were beautiful women with their boobies hanging out, man.
Yes,
that's kind of, you know what? I hate to say it's kind of what's going on.
Had that movie, Jaws and his little squat girlfriend, who was like,
no. Had that movie with the movie Idiocracy, and you have exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm waiting for them to invent that lazy boy reclining chair with the toilet built in, like an Idiocracy, so people didn't have to get up. They can just lazy, you don't have to get up.
Oh my God. I love these ideas that you get, Mike.
What's that?
These ideas you come up with.
It was in that movie. It was in Idiocracy. It's a great movie. You got to watch it. It's hysterical. You know, it really is. But that's where we're. You know what? That's where we're at, man.
Well, aren't we coming up like pretty soon about the polls for the Senate and the House?
Oh, the polls. Right now, all you got to know right now is Democrats suck. Democrats suck harder.
So what happened with Chuck Schumer? Remember the last time we were on, we were saying he was going to hold up the government, but now
he decided he had to vote anyway because then the government was going to shut down. But
he did the fast dance and he led the party.
They're finding so much corruption on the Democratic side of things. Will their party survive? It's a good question.
The Democrats are mad at him now because he did, because they're saying he worked with Trump.
The Democrats don't have any right to be mad at anybody. They've been screwing the
well, we said this in the beginning
for 50, 60 years.
But we said in the beginning that Schumer wasn't going to hold it up because if he held it up, then he's going to be the one who had to go in front of the American people and say, okay, why aren't these people getting paid? It was already bad enough that Trump's firing people left and right, but he's going to hold up the rest of their pay. So nobody was really, they didn't want to be that. Plus, he realized by shutting down the government, it gives Trump more freedom to do more stuff. He has more rights when the government is shut down. So to dole out money and shit, if he really wanted to, he could have just doled out the money to us without Congress's approval. As a matter of fact, I think he did that in one of those in 2016.
So what's all this Adam Schiff stuff about him being on the Epstein's list? Going to the island?
Shifty shit?
Yeah.
He's there's a lot of people that say he's on that list.
You can tell that guy's dirty all day long. I mean, come on.
Well, he went from being a House rep to a senator now, so he's a big dog now.
Big dogs get put to sleep too.
Yeah, they did.
No, I was watching Australian news and a couple of MSNBC and CNN.
He likes that girl on. He likes that girl on.
I do, man. She's hot. But what I'm saying is, I was watching some MSNBC and CNN,
Uh-oh.
and it seems like the Democrats now are against Schumer, but they're in favor of AOC.
But that was funny because AOC says she's going to take on Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Now remember, Nancy just got her kicked off that committee, and if they don't watch it, if Schumer and Nancy get together and decide they want to sanction her, she's gone. She won't even be a politician anymore.
She's still a newbie, man. Think about it.
She don't. Yeah, she is a newbie. It's only a third term serving, and well, that's 3 terms. Yeah, it's only not even 6 years. She only served for 4 years.
Yeah, but what is she going to go after them with?
Well, she's saying that they're leading the party in a bad way, and they are. They're the ones that chose to kick Biden off when they should have just left him on. Everybody now thinks that Biden would have lost, but it wouldn't have done as much damage to the party because it wouldn't have been such an embarrassing loss. I think they're wrong. I think it would have been more of an embarrassing loss. I really think if he'd have stayed in,
look at the politics, right? Look at the astronauts that were up there stranded, and Biden specifically didn't want them saved by X because he didn't want, Elon Musk getting any credit for nothing. So the politics says, leave them up there. I don't care what happens to them. Let them stay there, and then they'll come back, whatever. So, I mean, that's politics, man. That's ugly because they're using people. They're using people to wield political power. It's not the job. The job is representation. Representation. Not, I'm going to use this against you or against this person or whatever. That's just corruption. And there's a culture of corruption that needs to be solved. Trump is anti-establishment. He's the first anti-establishment president since himself.
In the swamp.
But think about before him. Yeah, drain the swamp. So he's talking about breaking up D.C., moving all those agencies all across the country. Roosevelt did that too, man. And then they created jobs in other places. It created honesty. It got people out of the swamp, So let him do.
But I believe that some of the things he's doing, he's not doing in the proper way. He's got control of the Senate and the Department of Justice. Why doesn't he do things the proper and legal way? He's doing some things that could be easily reversed right down the road, either by the Senate or people that he controls.
I'm waiting for my $5,000 check, man. You tell me you're gonna send me a check. I'm waiting for it. I mean, like he really needs to follow through. He needs to tackle the inflation. One of the biggest problems right now with Americans is this inflation. He needs to get it down. Once you get that down, I mean, the price of oil's been going down. So some stuff, but then you get the price gougers like the egg people, because of the flu, people raise the prices of eggs, but then a lot of them gouge. Like here in New York State, they're bringing people to justice because they gouged the price of eggs on people up to 75%. So yeah, you got thieves out there.
They're like $7 and $8 a dozen up here.
Right, crazy, right?
Yeah.
But they're price gouging, But at least they're going after them. Whatever they're going to do to them, who knows? But at least they're going after them. But at least Trump is in there. I think that it's new. I'm going to give him some time. You got to give him time. That's all it really is. But I want to see things improve, Like everybody.
I'm confident he'll make things improve. I just think it's going to be, second year, 2.5 years in.
Nah, not for the price of stuff. I think that the price of food.
So wait, here I got one for y'all. So let's go by what our friendly ABC, NBC, CBS, and MSNBC was saying. So they were saying, "Oh, a recession is coming, and it's just fucking how it's going to be, and you're going to get a recession." So you know what happens? First thing that happens in a recession, right, is fuel prices go down.
Yeah.
So what happens when the fuel prices go down? Say 50 cents, 75 cents. That means everything else is coming down. Eggs have already started coming down thanks to him going ahead and okaying the influenza thing, which is what the chicken people wanted anyway. So now those prices are coming down. We've already seen food. Gas is right over $2 down here right now. It's about $2.09, $2.12, somewhere around there. So when he took office, it was almost $3 here. And so we've seen almost $1 decrease in that. We've seen a couple things go up. For the most part, though, everything else is going downwards. And so if that trend keeps up, I don't know what to tell these people. And what I noticed what NBC and them are doing, and they're doing this again like they always do. So a lot of items are going up, but most of them are big ticket items that everyday Americans wouldn't be buying right now anyway. So I think they're missing out on that. And as far as booze goes, well, don't buy European booze. Buy Kentucky booze.
Yeah.
Buy California booze. I mean, we got liquor made all over this fucking country if you really want liquor that bad. You don't need your Canadian.
Do your countrymen a favor. There are places in both Tennessee and Kentucky where they can't even legally own and drink alcohol, yet it's made in their county.
Yeah.
Do those people a favor and drink their products.
So if you drink 7 and 7 and you're not a girl, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't even know what to tell you. There's something wrong with you. Your mama dropped you in your head when you were a baby.
7 and 7 is not a bad drink.
No, it's not. But it's really a girl's drink.
No.
It's it doesn't. Well, my problem with 7 and 7 was I would have to drink the whole fifth to get a buzz, and that would be like a baby buzz. I need. If I'm gonna drink alcohol, because beer is just a waste of effing time. I don't even get a buzz off of beer. I just want to piss a lot.
I don't really drink, but when I'm out, I like to have a cocktail. I'll order the craziest, slinkiest, like what hookers drink in Thailand type. You know what I mean? I want that. I want that umbrella in there. You know what I mean? Like the last one I had was a blue Hawaiian. And
God, those are horrible. Oh,
had coconut, whatever, rum in there.
Blue curve salad. What is in that?
Down, gave me a nice buzz. I had some good hibachi.
And how many guys hit on you while you were sitting there, man? Oh my God!
Have you ever drank ouzo?
Huh?
Yes.
Ouzo.
I've drinking.
Oh yeah, I've had ouzo. Sure.
Did you have the one where it was an opium base?
I don't know. I have a lot of friends who are Greek.
Dude, I'll tell you what happened to me over in Scotland. So someone said, get a shot of ouzo. I didn't even know what it was. Now I took the shot. I stood up and I fell to the floor. It was that crazy.
That date rape drug they put in there, man.
That's right, man.
And you woke up and your wallet was gone.
Will knock your ass on the ground.
Butt was
that was his first colonoscopy, man.
Butt wrangler.
Hey, Sparky, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for popping on.
Oh man,
Sparky Paranormal, he's a good dude, man.
Hey, Paranormal, anybody Paranormal is good. We love you.
Sparky, Heidi, she's not here. Sparky, she had to go somewhere.
Yes, we were talking bad, so I'm getting the hell out of here.
Bailed out.
It's we were talking about food porn. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Brzezinski can kiss my what. I don't like the guy. I didn't like the guy the first time I seen the guy. I have no idea. I don't want to hate on him because
he had the balls to go see the Sheik in that little damn black T-shirt of his. Come on.
Man, he's an idiot.
Looks like pajamas. It looks like he's out there with his pajamas.
So some of the world is not going to say anything about that. But people like the Sheik and us, we consider that disrespectful.
Oh, my God, yeah. But what I like about Trump...
Don't come ask me for billions of dollars and not wear a suit, because I'm going to tell you, go fuck yourself.
No one's allowed to touch the Sheik. What Donald Trump did.
More than once, too.
Yeah, that was funny.
He said that you get the death for that over there. I'm thinking, go ahead and kill the president now, get it over with, and watch your whole country become dust. Or glass. Actually, it actually would become glass. It would be one, just be one big sheet of green glass is what it would be. We could plug it in and use it for electricity. It's
Zelensky,
that's a big effect.
Zelensky. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, he's yeah, I bet she touched a Sheik. He missing her hands. No, it's Denise.
Not a serious person, man. So
Denise, it's a offense punishable by death for touching the Sheik. Yes.
Well, Parliament in Ukraine is supposed to be trying to get rid of this.
So I guess every hooker he gets killed.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, touch me. No, I ain't touching you. I don't want to die.
But I like the way Trump did it nonchalantly, just like he knew what he was doing when he touched the Sheik. I was like, right.
He knew because there's nothing to shoot.
He's already got a contract out on him from Iran. Why does he care who else is out to kill him?
Well, no, he knows the Sheik likes him, but he also knows what's he going to do. Start World War III? It's not going to happen.
Oh no, the Sheik loves Trump.
Yeah,
Did he
but you see, that's another one was a big pussy. So he goes on. He goes. Trump doesn't get reelected. So what he does, he goes and joins Brexit.
Yeah.
You know, asshole. Which unfortunately, then Brexit's as amounted as shit. But because China thought it was going to work and Russia thought it was going to work, but then we devalued their money, so then well, of course, it didn't work. It's I don't know. You know, Trump is not the kind of guy who puts up with a bunch of bullshit. He's not going to put up with a bunch of bullshit. It's just one of those things he's just not in the mood to do. You know what, Jessica? We are going to break in just a second. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael got a show coming up.
Yeah, but we're going to break, and then Michael will probably be like a half hour late tonight or something.
You're bad, dude.
No, that was Michelle said that. She wrote to me. She said, "Y'all doing so good. Y'all need to go longer." What do you mean, who? Michelle, who?
Ooh.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Michelle DeRoche. Any moans, groans, and bitches or complaints, please address to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Michelle DeRoche. Yes.
Hey,
she lives in Canada.
Hey.
My ass up there.
Sparky wants to. Yeah, can you throw him a link?
What are we throwing links for?
He says, "Oh, can you throw a link? I might not be subbed." Whatever that means, Sparky.
Oh, Dorkin.
He wants your sausage link, I think.
Oh, man. I don't want to hear nothing about none of that stuff now. Whoa.
You know what? If I was Trump, I would just be off the wall at this point. Shake comes in. Hey, come here, Shake. Let me pinch your nipples. You know, come over here. Let me grab your ass, Shake. You know
anyway, we're gonna put this dirty video on.
Whoa!
we're gonna put this dirty video on that this older lady requested. I don't. You see,
more ladies in here. Who are you talking to?
Well, the woman who requested, the one that requested Enrique Iglesias. Actually, she requested. And I was gonna play Hero, but Hero's a little too sub for this. For what we're doing right now. So we're going to play this in a couple of promos and then we'll be back. And then about 40 minutes after that, Michael will be on unless we get drunk or something. And then who knows for sure.
I know.
It's whoever that is that keeps. All right, look. Rule number one: you cannot blow marijuana around in the room. Okay, we all get high when you do that, so stop that. All right. Yeah.
You'll make poor Michael all purple in the face.
I mean, look at Michael. He's already so fucking high, I don't even know his name.
Look at that smoke in that room.
Later on, he's going to walk in the bathroom and we want to know why his legs are short.
Ultraviolet's flashlight, too.
Anyway. Oh, Jesus. I don't know none of these people.
I'm getting a contact type from here, and I'm more than
Jackie, I don't know none of these people. They're all fucked up in the head. I don't know. I don't know. The Facebook Crean, I know the Facebook pages were acting squirrely earlier. They were doing that on the Arthur Squirrel too. Yeah. They seem to be fine now. I know, and all the Roku pages. I mean, yeah.
The show is.
Oh, you watching us? Oh, that's right. I forgot we're on Prime tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot all about that. You can watch us on Prime tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can. So if you were watching Arthur's Quill earlier, it was the first time it did was Prime. It's just a test run. We don't know if we're keeping it or not yet. I got it. I'm recording it on the big screen so I can watch it later.
You know, man, I was talking about Jim Morris today. All of a sudden, he popped.
Oh, I miss Jim, man. I miss Jim.
He was the best, that dude.
I miss Jim. Yeah, Jim was great. Anyway, we got to go to break. We'll talk about him when we get back because I love Jim. He was a great guy.
We should talk about him, man, because he's.
We will. We get back. We're gonna take this short break. I think we got like 4 promos in the song, and then fuck you. Whoever wrote that, you don't even know who Jim Morris is. What are you, like 12? First off, wait. Can you? Okay, we may have a new rule. If you can't read script, get the fuck out of our room. Get the fuck off our network, for that matter. If you can't read script, no, really, because if you can't read script, it means you can't read the Constitution, which means you're fucking worthless.
If you can't change your car tire, you're out of here.
I mean, oh god,
we have very simple limits.
That's 2/3 of the country there, man. We're screwed for sure.
We're out of here.
Well, if you're a girl that can beat your boyfriend up, you need to go too.
I know girls who can change their car tire.
Yeah, I know some girls who can change their car tire too. But anyway, we're going to break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all in a few minutes. And y'all get we got to put a warning on this next video coming up. It's rather
There's
Risky.
porno in there. Lots of porno.
yeah, it's kind of skanky, people.
It is.
And look, we're putting God up there when we're talking about skanky.
I know.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast.
Welcome to Paratruth.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network.
Hi, and thank you all for joining us today. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in
Y'all check
tell you
Sean's
what,
heartbeat.
I bet he got some butt when he got home that night.
Sean wants some.
Uh,
Those girls are hungry. Look how skinny they are.
how many of y'all's
They're skinny
eyes
and
did that we
hungry.
damage there?
Those girls need to eat a hamburger.
All right,
And see-
Sparky says, "Oh my God, OMG."
I like girls a little
It's,
thick, something to grab onto.
Yeah, I
I see
agree.
a couple of thick ones in there. There's a couple of thick ones in there. A couple of thin ones in
Yeah.
there. A couple you could carry around the house and stuff. What's that, Carolyn? Oh no, not on this show. No, we can't. I don't think we discuss that on any show. We'd have to have a special after-hours show for that.
No, it will be members
Get a
only.
reset.
We used to have a show on the network. Oh God, about 8 or 10 years ago, that talked about. How can I say this? Just positions. Yes. How they worked. What was the
We
best way
need
to
to have
achieve
members
it?
only shows, man. So people could members only. They're paying for it. They know what they're going to get. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. That's how
Schedule
you do it.
something like that, can we not?
We're
Yes.
gonna make Jay strip.
Members only.
I'll show off my knives. Since my
They got to buy a membership. That's all, and then they'll be in there for like a couple bucks a month, man. Bang.
Dang. Yeah, well, we had that set up for a while until YouTube decided to say, "Hey, we love you so much."
We're gonna take your channel away.
But what's that, Caroline? No, I have no idea what YouTube's up to.
Yeah, and you know what, YouTube? You can read
We-
between the lines.
Yes, we're actually starting to use Rumble more and more. You go wherever you want. We're not telling anybody where to go. It's no, we're just starting to use it more. We seem to have less problems over there, and there seems to be less of
We're not being accused
monitoring.
of asking for money
Yeah.
when we aren't.
Well, I'm glad we brought that up because Germany's hacking me off. Germany wants nukes, Germany wants an army, but Germany wants to police the internet. But the problem with policing the internet's the same problem we had here. Who's policing the police?
Who watches the watch?
Can we trust the Germans to do anything except make nice cars?
And they don't even make as nice cars as they used to, so I don't know. It's in what's that? No, their BMW is actually made in America and exported. Yeah, figure that one out. I don't know what's going on, but Germany does not need nukes. They don't need anything that resembles a nuke. No one needs to give Germany a nuke.
They have areas in their country that the police can't even go because of the Muslim population that moved in there, and then they're in control of those areas. Can you trust Germany to do anything, really?
No, not at this point. You can't. They need to step up. Europe's the largest economy or not, they need to step up and do it. I don't even know how they have Europe's largest economy. That's to have, I guess Britain don't count or something. I don't know. I just got issues with that one all the way around. Well, they say it's the largest economy. We have to go check it out and see exactly why, but that's what they're saying.
Is it?
It's I was watching Euro News the other night.
I know Italy's like the fourth largest economy in Europe, but you think UK and France, they're pretty big money.
Ronnie, you mean news on the flip side? No, last night we had a guest. That's why we didn't talk about the news that much. Yes, usually we don't have guests on there. That was just
about Uranus, the water on Uranus.
Yeah, we geeked out. If you weren't into science, it was not the show for you to catch. Yeah, we geeked out for the first.
Then the guy disappeared on us. He took off and he said goodbye, man. I hate that.
But I talked to Carmen. I know I do too. I talked to Carmen today. He said he enjoyed himself. He had a lot of fun. So I said, except for something about going to the moon or some shit. I think he's talking about Jay's theory on the Nazis going there.
It wasn't my theory, actually. It's
I know it wasn't.
Charles Berlin, I think, or Charles Berlitz. Charles Berlitz, his theory.
I heard that
when Sean said he didn't believe in Mars, that screwed the guy's head up. I think it screwed his head up, man. Yeah, I think that guy was started going wonky.
Yeah, he looked. I was watching his face when I said that, and he was just like, "There's something wrong with that Sean dude, man."
Well, shit, I said there was something wrong with that Sean dude. What do you mean?
No.
You didn't even have to think that. It's he's hard. He's hard science is what he is, and he's got some good shows. I actually went and watched one of the ones he did with the Ashton. That was pretty good. I mean, it's dry, but it's pretty good. But if you like that kind of geeky stuff, you gotta like that kind of stuff. It can be good. No, there's no gratuitous sex or violence or drugs in it. It's just a documentary about astronauts.
Yeah. Largest economy in Europe: Germany, France, Italy, United Kingdom, and Spain. Top 5.
I will, brother.
What do you got for us, Randy L?
You're not boring anyway, dude.
How's Germany the largest economy in Europe? What is it?
I got the same problem. I don't know. Sell cars, I guess. It's
when I was a kid, having something from Germany was a big deal. German stereo, something like that. Like they made really good stuff, but that changed. I mean, it all changed. It went hardly back.
Well, who makes Bose?
Bose. Huh?
I mean, what country it comes out of?
China.
No, Bose will come out of China.
Well, Bose, like speakers, those that come out of Europe, like Germany, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole Bose system comes from some country because I know they're usually in German cars. So, just like the Alpine's usually in. Alpine made a good system for a long time, but never hear anything about them anymore. And Bose, though, look, my mom said little small Bose in her damn living room sound like you got a damn orchestra in there. And it's I got to give Bose credit. They definitely know how to do wave speakers.
They are from the country of Massachusetts.
The country of Massachusetts.
Yeah, Bose Corporation is an American manufacturing company.
Okay.
Because we make the best.
Well, Bose
America.
Bose is a good company.
USA. Well, so how does Germany make their money? I'm just curious. Selling pudding? I don't know.
Got to be selling stuff to Europe because they ain't selling that much to us.
They buy a lot of gas from Russia. But how do they make their money? How does Germany make their money?
Selling their women to Russia.
I don't have to clue.
Mm.
Or they probably we build their cars, the BMWs.
Yeah, well, they sell a lot of cars and they sell other stuff, but I don't know what else there.
They make their money through strong export oriented economy. Major industries being automotive, machinery, chemicals, and electronics.
Well, that'll hurt them. All these new tariffs.
Tariffs
will hurt them. On that type of economy, this will hurt them. It's especially when cars are going to go down. People buying cars. Every now and then we have these things in the world where we all just decide, we're not going to buy a new car every other year. We're going to hang on this one for 5 or 6 or 7 years. And matter of fact, it got so bad in the United States. Remember, the U.S. said, well, if your car is more than 10 years old, we'll buy it back for you.
But I knew this guy, man, long time ago, who was an importer. He was just kind of an individual, but he imported cars from Germany or wherever. He said he get these beautiful Porsche 911s for almost nothing in Germany, like almost nothing. It was just a matter of shipping it and then going through the emission laws or whatever, getting it passed. But he was making like really big money. So a lot of that money tacked on when the car gets here are probably part of those tariffs, probably part of the shipping and whatever.
Well, listen to this. The car industry in America is beginning to get so horrible that you remember the Yugo? They're trying to re-import that back into the country again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh, piece of crap car.
Here comes the AMC Eagle. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I like the AMC Matador. It was a beast, but
the Pinto. The Ford Pinto. How come they don't come out with a new Ford Pinto?
Well, think about it. Ford turned their Maverick into a truck. They used to have the Maverick, which was
they're that good.
Oh,
yeah. God damn.
Sparky has a question. He says, I so agree with everything you guys are saying, but the big question is, have you seen a full apparition? When and where? I saw.
Of course, I got pictures, man.
I got pictures too, Spark.
Man, Ghost of Dimensional Bleed.
Watch my show. In fact, that's what I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about paranormal investigations I've done tonight. My favorite haunts, man, that type of thing. So tune in to Michael Langley Live, and then I got pictures of ghosts that I'm going to discuss how they happen.
Y'all know ghosts are just dimensional bleed through. Get over it, guys.
Bleed through, Joe says.
Stop lying to these people.
Like outer space. There's no more.
That's what it is. It's dimensional bleed through. I've proven it more than once. It's not even that hard to prove. That's the sad part.
Oh my
damn
God,
rookies, man! What am I going to do with these rookies?
Rookie my ass.
I have never, to be honest, I have never seen an apparition, but I have seen UFOs multiple occasions, day and evening occasions, and I have seen Bigfoot.
So you know what I think when people tell me about ghosts, it makes me think God's not doing his job. And I think anybody who says God's not doing a job should watch it when they cross over. That's what I think.
Oh, when you die, right? The light. That's what I think. The light is lit, man. The light is lit when you die. I mean, you have that opportunity to go to the light when you die.
Unless people have unfinished business, or they come back for a visitation, or they're afraid to cross over because of the terrible things they've done.
That's right. That's the number one thing.
Earthbound entities, man.
We were raised that if you commit.
So that means you were going to hell then.
No, that's not where
No. Because if you were going to heaven, you would just be sucked into the light.
They walk in purgatory. They can't move on.
And you know what, Michael? There's no such thing as a purgatory.
But there's the purgatory I'm talking about is the in between. So they're not moving on. They can't move on because they are not allowing themselves to move on. Some of them can't. Some of them are confused. We found that they don't know. And then if you get a good enough medium there, they could show them the way. We've done that plenty of times. But I'll tell you, when there's an earthbound, those houses, the terrible feeling that you walk in, you can feel it right away. You can feel it before you walk in there. There's torment. There's torment, especially if something terrible has happened. We've done, murders and all kinds of stuff like that. train crashes and whatever, where people died either all of a sudden or were terrorized before they died. The energy is unbelievable, man. So yeah, I'll be talking about that tonight on my show. And pictures of ghosts, suckers.
Yes, it's just dimensional Bluetooth.
I couldn't even believe that we got those pictures when we were going through the footage. And I was like, oh my god, because when you see it, you're like, wow. You gotta see it because you're like, wow. Because even all these ghost shows you look at, they're not. You don't see the evidence, man. You don't see the evidence, So but sometimes people are good with pictures, and we had 20 cameras rolling all the time, hunting cameras, all kinds of really interesting type full spectrum cameras and things like that. So we were very serious about what we were doing, and we're lucky. I think we're lucky to get those.
I think Mars is in another dimension itself, like it don't exist. That's how I feel.
I know you almost killed that guy with a heart attack last night when you said there was no Mars. He grabbed his chest. I think he was gonna.
Man.
You're being Dexter, telling this professor there's no Mars. You just
had to put up a thing how many people think Mars is real.
His face was so ultimate, like, huh?
Oh yeah.
100%.
What the hell?
So that's another great stuff. I've been a lot of crime areas as it happened, or just after, in an hour after it changes and gets heavy. Do you think spirits are drawn to that kind of area?
Yep.
They love the energy.
I believe so. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
I still have never been to 9/11 site since the accident. Whatever, not as long. I shouldn't say that, but
I'm sure it's still a hot spot.
Oh my God! Yeah, it still is. If you go up there, I mean, they want to talk. Those spirits want to talk, but no one's allowed back there.
I know some mediums that went down there a few times, so it's really crazy, like everybody trying to talk to them at once type of thing. But I think that a lot of people have gone, since. It's been a long time. So, but I don't know. I know 2 weeks before 9/11, I was cruising down Fifth Avenue going south, and I had a video camera rolling, and I was cutting through the city to go out to Long Island, and I kind of just felt like, you know what, man? I felt like there was something wrong with me, and even on the video, you could hear me say, I feel like I can't breathe. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like there's something wrong. Like, man, I really felt like I had to go to the ER. And then I made my turn to go for the tunnel. I got the hell out of the city. I started feeling so much better. Just like, wow, and then bang. I don't know if one thing the energy or something or whatever, man, because I'm pretty reactive to things like that. And
if you're talking about New York City, yeah, I understand. The New York City, I've been to New York City, I've been to Baltimore, I've been to Washington, D.C., several of the big cities. D.C. has to do, I don't get the vibe I get in New York City. I start getting anxious. I start getting, vaguely aware of like danger all around me. It's just
this was 9/11 related. This was 9/11 related. I'm convinced because I'm a city person, and New York was my playground. You know what I mean? So I had never had a problem in the city or anywhere around it. So this was something that was gripping me. The further I head south, the more it was gripping me, and I just decided to cut out of there. But whatever, man. I know people that were there for 9/11. I know people that were in hotels. I have friends who died in 9/11. My friend John Sherry went to school, elementary school, man. Gone. He worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. So,
If you travel Route 30 in Pennsylvania, you come up to Shanksville. And when you get like maybe 4 or 5 miles before Shanksville, you can feel the energy. It's just really intense.
I want to do an investigation in Valley Forge. I think I was there when I was a kid, and it was a very interesting place. I felt a lot of weird stuff, but I was a kid. So, but I didn't. I felt like there was a lot of people around,
Valley
even though they
Forge
weren't.
Isn't very far from me. Battlefields like Antietam,
But Valley Forge is where they ate people, man. They ate people. That George Washington arrested them. They ate people. Other people died. They were starving to death. They ate people, man. That is some energy that you can't mess with right there.
The first rule of survival is, they don't.
They said George Washington took a liking to it, man. He took a liking to it. He was asking for seconds. He wanted some of that buttock sandwich.
But then again, how are you going to survive if you have to? What about that plane crash where guys were eating the dead because they had to survive?
The soccer team, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be able to do it, man. I mean, what do you do? Make some chili? Eat some finger sandwiches?
You know what? Honestly, I could make human sausage and you wouldn't know the difference.
You heard it here first.
Jeez, wow. Way to go, Dr. Lecter. Thanks, Sean. I'm never having breakfast at your house.
People are never going to think about sausage the same ever again. Yeah, I can make it taste. It's called long pig. Damn it.
You know what? I have a good kibasi recipe too, dude. I mean,
what is this, pork? Yeah, man. It's good pork.
All you got to do is throw some pig fat in there, give it a taste.
Jeffrey Dahmer's neighbors said they never saw him go to the supermarket except to buy condiments. He came in with relish and ketchup.
Yeah, butter and ketchup and
butter.
Mustard, yeah, that's all he ever had, yeah.
Oh my God. Ugh. It's in the human genes, though, isn't it? I mean, people, look at the Anasazi, right? Indians, man. And the Anasazi, actually, they were known as the others. They weren't really considered Indians, but they were slave traders and whatever, and they were cannibals. So they ate people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think, the next time you eat a breakfast sausage and a kibasi sandwich, just remember.
Nope, I'll have my tofu and I won't worry about it.
Good thing for you, Sean. You don't know me as well as everybody else does, but I prefer patties over sausage links. So
I can do that too for you.
You guys in Pennsylvania can eat anything. If you eat scrapple, blood pudding, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, scrapple's good, dude.
Squirrel. I know people in Pennsylvania eat squirrels.
As long as you don't question where the scrapple came from, scrapple is delicious.
It's not good to
but
eat
once
brains,
someone
though,
starts
no?
to describe to you where they're getting the scrapple from and how
It's
they're
like,
preparing
honest to God,
you begin
it's
to start to throw it back up.
It's eating spam. If you eat spam, you're actually eating
but brains,
scrapple.
right? Scrapple's brains.
Everything. Scrapple's, I mean.
Anyone in the panel know what spam stands for?
No.
It actually stands for something.
What's that?
Spam. It stands for something. Does anybody know what it is?
I don't.
Special processed ham.
I love
like
spam.
deviled ham when I was a kid. Remember
Spam is
ham?
good.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's deviled ham.
Deviled ham is good.
I like the cream chip beef on toast.
Oh, God, yeah. My brother and sister like that stuff. I could never stomach that shit. Oh.
Salisbury steak. That's kind of a cheap way. Like cube steak. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with cube steak.
Hey, Woo, how are you, buddy?
Peppers and onions.
I'm celebrating by learning.
Hey, Google, shut up.
That was weird. I got taken to the Twilight Zone and back. We got to get out of here, man. Don't we? That's like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
It's 10:08. Yeah. Oh,
we got to go. We got to go.
Mardi Gras weed going on.
We got to go.
Yeah, the next show is Michael Lang. He's going to get very mad at us that we're biting into his time.
He's a bitch, man. We got to get out of here. Yeah. What do you want? You want to come up here? You want to tell everybody bye-bye? Come on. You come on.
Is the puppy dog again? Which one is this?
She wants to.
Hi. Oh,
hello.
He says,
hello, little bark.
She said, for a little dog, you sure are heavy, man.
Chihuahuas, yeah. It's all of about 2 feet long, but weighs 75 pounds.
Well, my little one, she only weighs, the black one that y'all see with me, she weighs 4 pounds. This one, on the other hand, weighs about 14 pounds.
Wow.
He's a solid little thing.
What do you feed the dog?
Nothing.
Smaller dogs.
She's She goes outside. We don't feed her anything. She'll go out and kill a snake every once in a while. Eat one of them. She was eating some birds the other day. She keeps the house rat free. She said no rats allowed. No, she gets they get whatever dog food's down.
How are you getting rats in your house, dude?
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. Living off the ground as high as I do, it's amazing that you get one every once. I tell you what, she's fearless. She sees a rat, it's on. And I guess so. I like to catch them and throw them out in the yard because they tell all their little friends they don't come back again.
Yeah,
it's weird. No, because when I used to kill them, I just get another one. I started throwing them out in the yard, and after about the second one, we ain't had a rat since. I'd fling them out halfway across the yard. They were like, oh, no. And their little baby's born new. Don't go in that house. That's crazy. But she tracks them down. She'll get them in a corner for me. I'll come grab them with a net and get them out. She has no problem tracking them down. Birds, snakes. She don't care. She's built in her. You'll see her out in the yard. If she sees something, boy, that tail goes up straight, face comes down, legs go back. She thinks she's a freaking pointer. I'm thinking you're a tiny pointer.
What about like alligators?
She don't like alligators. She will growl and bark at them. But stupid don't know smart enough. Neither one of them knows smart enough to get away from the edge of the water. My other two would see an alligator, they'd back up and start growling, snarling from a distance.
If they knew how alligators hunted, they wouldn't be anywhere near that water.
But the older one taught her to be scared of birds and to bark at the birds and also. So the big birds are funny. If they don't hear them, they'll look down and like they're going to take them. But if they turn around and start growling, snarling, snapping, they'll go on. It's not worth it to the big bird to lose a leg or a face or something. Because regardless, like Lola, she's little, but them teeth are razor sharp. She bites down on its leg, it's done lost that leg. It's gone bye-bye. It'd be an eagle with one leg.
Are there any alligator attacks
Marcus
around?
His shepherd just ran off the red foxes.
Yeah, we got rules down here because of the neighborhood. And if you see a gator over 3 foot, you got to report it, and they'll come out and find it and remove it out of the water because a lot of kids swim in these waters, and there's a lot of wealthy people live all around here, and their kids get out there in their little rafts and their little jet skis and get out there and play in the water. So they're not going to risk a big gator out here.
Yeah, they literally
Hey, Lee.
There's a good question.
There's a good question, Joe.
Not exactly. They stole it from us.
Oh, you're talking about on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took it away from us, Kason. They did.
Yes, because Jay was bad. And they found out he was pregnant, and he was a guy.
They got pregnant from an alien probe, and they took our.
And they couldn't reconcile that he was a man and he was pregnant, so it cost him this year. What the fuck, Well, look, women don't know they're women today, so how can That's like that woman the other day who was arguing. She was a guy, but she was pregnant. I'm like, sweetheart, if you're pregnant, you're not a guy. I look just like a guy, dress like a guy, sound like a guy. If you're pregnant, you're not a guy. I don't want to be the one to tell you that. But if you're too stupid to figure that out, shame the fuck on you. Okay? For women who don't know what women are, leave this country. Go fucking live in Canada.
Hey,
oh, no,
look,
sorry. I got friends in Canada. Go fucking live overseas somewhere.
I have been told by more than several women who've had children that, I'll just quote one of them, that she would rather pass a child with painkillers than to pass she would rather pass a child without painkillers than to pass a kidney stone with painkillers. So I have lots of kidney stones. I win.
Okay.
It's just smack his ass. And my daughter just got out the hospital. She had to go in. Sooner or later I'm gonna have to, but she had to go in and get. She had 2 big ones. She had to have them crushed up and pulled out.
Yeah,
she's not. And they put a stent in there. Get this shit. So
I've
they put a
got 2
stent.
that are over 8 millimeters in there right now.
Oh yeah, I got the left one is 12 and the right one is 9. It's
You've got
but the doctor told me, but he told me it was like 3 years ago. So they're probably even bigger than that. He said, if it don't hurt you, we're not going to take it out.
Yeah,
it's not causing a blockage, and he said, yeah. So with her, it's causing a blockage.
If you want to take it out than there is for to just let it sit and see if it moves.
So they put this stent in there about yay long. She's got to rip it out herself.
No, thank you. No.
See, when I was talking to the doctor about it, he said I was going to put you in the hospital for a couple of days and we'd give you painkillers to take it out because once you shove something in there, rattle around, pull stuff out, it's going to be sore to start off with. and then you're gonna go rip
It
out.
is
Oh
the most
man,
unusual thing when they pull those things out. They
it's
have, you know, what they have to give you before they do that is like I forget what the name of it is. It's a weird name, but it keeps you from being nauseous and throwing up.
Moonshine, I think.
No, but I wish they would take it. No, it's a little pill, and it dissolves on your tongue, and it tastes like like licorice or something like that. And
yeah.
then
This stuff is crazy. But anyway, we got to get Michael's late. Michelle gonna be on his ass. Why you late? Why you late?
yeah,
And we're gonna say we don't know why he's late. We ended on time.
yeah, I wish.
Hey,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to chat. Be sure to catch Sean on his regular nights on Tuesdays and Sundays. Jay's here with us on Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, and you should catch him on those days. I'm gonna be gone for a week in about 3 weeks, so he'll be running the shop while I'm going. I mean, I'll probably be in and out to come visit y'all, but I'll be out in the other side of the world, getting in trouble. So I'll be out there trying to get us some more listeners and some viewers, and maybe even a couple of new shows. Who
Going
knows?
to the Ukraine, Joe.
Yeah,
thanks,
yes.
Sparky. I appreciate you. Thanks.
We we got people in the Ukraine. Yeah, we get reports from there fairly regularly.
Thanks.
Nothing.
Thanks,
All the thing I've been hearing from lately is just more and more Russian intrusion. But anyway, we got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the chat. And be sure to stay out of trouble. Any moans, groans, bitches, or complaint, please write to Michelle DeRoche. She loves when y'all write to her. Matter of fact, she says you do not write to her enough, people.
Yeah,
she said she
email.
feels lonely.
She's not
so
busy
write
with
more
the
to her. Yes.
She's
Yes.
about cussing you. She'd come through the
Yes.
internet right now and bust you
So
out.
she just no, she does. She feels lonely.
Well, and what this is how we keep the station fresh for y'all. You send us all your ideas. We take all the good ideas, we throw them out, and then we rattle through the bad ones to see which ones stick the best.
Yes, it's kind of like writing a story. But anyway, on that note, we got to go.
All
Thank
right,
you again, ladies and gentlemen,
good
for
night,
tuning in
everybody.
for the chat and United Public Radio. Until I won't be back till next Wednesday. So until Wednesday, have some fun. Sean's here Sunday, so you can catch up with him. Mike will be here in just a few minutes. And Jay and I will see you on Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you guys in 5 minutes.